dailyroto.com to rock daily fantasy sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio Network. News update.
In baseball, Salvador Perez will be out 4 to 6 weeks after tearing the MCL in his knee when he fell while carrying his luggage. Matt Ehel of the Daily Bergen Record reports that the Mets have discussed adding free agent reliever Greg Holland. In the NFL, the Jaguars acquired quarterback Cody Kessler from the Browns in exchange for a conditional 2019 7th-round pick. Kessler will slot in as the backup quarterback. The Saints signed tight end Ben Watson to a 1-year contract. And in the NBA, Karl Anthony Towns made 19 of 32 from the field and 12 of 15 from the line for a career-high 56 points during a 126-114 win over the Hawks on Wednesday night, adding 15 boards, 4 assists, 1 block, and 6 3-pointers in 41 minutes. I'm Dan Strapper, and this has been your Fantasy Sports Radio Network News Update.
Stay tuned to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network for more updates at the top of every hour.
If you've heard of WeatherTech floor liners, you probably know that for your vehicle's floor, nothing protects better. But what about protection for the rest of your car or truck? I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. Besides our floor liners, we design, engineer, and manufacture a wide range of automotive accessories right here in America. And just like our floor liners, everything is done to the highest standards possible. We understand what kind of investment owning a vehicle can be, so we do everything possible to help you protect it. We don't take shortcuts, and we never make concessions when it comes to quality. For everything from cargo liners to cleaning and detailing supplies to mud flaps and car covers, the one place you need to go is WeatherTech.com. So if you are familiar with our floor liners, just imagine how well the rest of our products will work for you. Learn more about our full line of automotive accessories at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech.com, proudly made in America.
Are you new to daily fantasy? Are you a veteran? Either way, you can better your chances of winning money, and lots of it, by going to dailyroto.com. Multiple people have become millionaires thanks to the guys at Daily Roto. Why not take advice from the experts? You can become a millionaire too. Just go to dailyroto.com to rock daily fantasy sports.
Skick sneakers are taking over tailgates and alumni homes across America.
The party getting started. Dance all night. The party getting started. Dance all night. The party getting started. Dance all night. The party getting started. Dance all night.
I don't mess around.
And that, my friends, is called Carton and Friends.
Oh, hello, friends. You're here early.
Everybody should worry and worry a lot.
Friends, if I may have your attention.
The blind squirrel can't find the nut. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? 9:03. Nice job, Chrissy Bones. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is true. I'm back. I'm here with friends, and this is day one of a very exciting new chapter in my life, and a new chapter for those of you that have gotten tired of the same boring crap that's on the radio, on TV, on whatever your favorite internet channel is. It's Carton and Friends, meaning there's something for you to listen to again, albeit a different time frame. Instead of doing 6 to 10, this show will air live from 9 in the morning to 1 p.m. There's a lot to get to because, of course, today, it's apropos for my new start, is opening day. Even the New York Mets can win a World Series today. Of course, everyone knows my beloved New York Yankees will win the World Series, and we have 4 hours to get to all the whys, the hows, the whos, and all that stuff throughout the morning. But let me introduce you to my quote-unquote friends. Now, they're family, and they are friends as well. To my right, This is Michelle Serpico. Good morning, Michelle.
How are you?
Michelle comes from a very, very long line of Serpicos, not police officers played by Al Pacino, so don't ask that question. But Michelle's been involved with Major League Baseball Network and with some MMA fighting as a host as well, and is shockingly available to us as of about a week ago. So we're happy that Michelle's on the team. And a guy that will broadcast every morning from Section 203. He's a diehard Yankee fan. That's a plus. He's a diehard Cowboy fan. That's a negative. Chris Christie's enough in my world for Cowboy fans. But this is Corey Parsons. Corey, good morning. How are you, buddy boy?
Good morning, Craig. What's going on, my man? Happy to be here. Guess who's back? It's the boy, Craig Carton. I got your back. We are about to body this industry.
That's exactly. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but I'm going to learn some of the new lingos along the way. I want to thank you. Those of you that are already tuning in, whether you're watching us on Twitter or Periscope or YouTube or the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app, or if you're listening to us through TuneIn, you name it. There's about 17 different ways right now for you to get this content. As this show proceeds, there's going to be a lot more. We're in talks right now with a lot of different media companies and platforms, terrestrial radio, of course, and other apps and other types of what I think are really cool digital components that will make this show available in every home, in every car, on every one of these, which it already is. And I'm thrilled. I've been asked a lot over the last 48 hours, is this what you wanted to do? How much did you miss doing this? So let me get a lot of that stuff not out of the way, but I think you deserve an answer to that. For the last 6 months, outside of doing a podcast, and about a month and a half ago starting a thing with Twitch.tv, in which I was doing a show I called The Top 8 at 9, I was not able to do what I do best, which is a 4-hour radio show, a 4-hour broadcast, a 4-hour opportunity for me to talk to you and with you. And the fact that Lou and Jeremy and the guys at Sports Grid, who I've stayed in touch with over the last 10 years, who are dear friends of mine and now part of my family from a work standpoint, came to me a few months ago, and they said, look, we've always been big fans. We always want to be in business with you. Maybe now's the great opportunity. I've been approached by a lot of different media outlets to do radio for them, to do TV for them. And along the way, some of those opportunities looked like they were going to see the light of day, and some never really got off the ground. But Sports Grid and the Fantasy Sports Radio Network was the singular company that was willing to take the quote-unquote risk, that was willing to get into bed with me and recognize that I had a story to tell. They bought my story. They bought into my story, and more than anything else, they believed in my ability and talent as a broadcaster. By proxy, they believe in Michelle's ability, and they believe in Corey's ability. What is this show going to be? Well, everything that you guys loved about Boomer and Carton on WFAM, you are going to get that right here with Carton and Friends. I'm going to do what I've always done, whether it's irreverent, whether it's in your face, whether it's entertaining or compelling. You're going to get the type of content that, frankly, doesn't exist anywhere in radio right now. Whether that's in New York, in Chicago, in California, in Boston, in Florida, you're going to get a special brand of broadcasting. And we're going to do it every day. We're going to do it live. It's going to be 9 in the morning to 1 p.m., and you can be a part of it. A lot of people said, well, he's not going to take phone calls. No, we're taking phone calls. I'm going to give you the number right now. It's 844-843-6879. Now, they told me you could spell that out also. I have a tough time with the spelling on that. I know you guys have been doing it for a long time, but it's very simple. Just put it in your phone, 844-843-6879. It actually spells 84 fantasy, but then the fantasy is missing some vowels, so just put it down, 844-843-6879. Governor Christie will be the first official guest of the new show. And there was nobody else I was ever going to have other than Governor Christie, because from the day I resigned from WFAM through today, he has been as close a friend as I could ever ask for, supportive of me, not just privately, but publicly as well. He is a diehard Met fan. I know he is going to Citi Field today to watch the Mets lose their home opener, to watch everyone get very upset about Noah Syndergaard and start questioning on day one whether or not the Mets have the goods to win a World Series. Corey, you have an answer to that already?
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
Simple? No. The answer is
Mets.
no. Do the Yankees have the ability to win a World Series?
28.
Number 28, right? I will say this, though. If you gave the Yankees the chance right now to swap the starting pitching staff with the New York Mets, they would do it in a minute.
They might do that.
Not that might do it. They would do it.
Those dudes are beat up. Those dudes are beat up. They stay beat up. It's always injury concern. Now, you think you get all 5 of those studs healthy for a full season, then you know what? Maybe the Mets might have something, but they're the Mets.
They are the Mets. I think most people do not think that the Mets are going to give it a real run towards a playoff berth because of the ownership and because of all the injuries. And by the way, that's a fair reason not to believe in the New York Mets. They have not given you a lot of reasons to believe in them over the course of 50 years. I used to be a diehard Met fan. But today, 5 years after I established the Church of Mets fans for Yankees, I bleed Yankee blue.
There you go.
I have pinstripes. I checked. I went to the doctor because they were not going to hire me until they made sure that I was completely healthy on the inside. It's been a rough 6 months. And when the doctor looked on my insides, he said, we've never seen anything more beautiful than what we saw coursing through the veins and arteries of your body. And I was worried. I said, what's inside the veins and arteries of my body? And they showed me a picture of it. I was at the Princeton Longevity Center. They're good people. They're in Princeton, so you know they're smart. And when they showed me the video of the blood pumping from my average size baboon heart through the arteries and veins of my body. As you know, the blood pumps, the arteries take the blood away, arteries away. The veins bring the blood back to the heart. They said it's the most phenomenal, fascinating thing we've ever seen. Your blood pumps in pinstripes.
I like that. Pinstripe pumping blood.
Pinstripe pumping blood.
Now, how does that help you health-wise, that you have pinstripe pumping blood?
That is a very good question, Corey. It helps me immensely because imagine the alternative. Some of us are blessed with pinstripe pumping blood. The rest of you might have orange and blue blood. And listen, I've got some of that because I'm a Knicks fan. That's like the cancerous cells. That's the pinstripes attack the orange and blue blood, and they fight it out. But it ain't much of a fight because Oakley don't play no more. Anthony Mason, may he rest in peace, isn't around, and Patrick Ewing's coaching at college. So the pinstripe blood always wins the battle, and I believe they're going to win the battle again this year.
Got a good chance to do so now. They got a new manager, though, with no managerial
Doesn't
experience.
matter to me.
This worries me. I don't get me wrong. Aaron Boone is a big part of my sports life.
That's
the greatest moment in my personal sports history. But this dude don't know how to manage a baseball
No,
team.
you're wrong on that. Let me explain to you why. Baseball is not that difficult. Baseball is not that complicated. So you have a guy who, from his father, his brothers, himself, they're a baseball family. All Aaron Boone has ever done is play or talk about baseball. So give me any scenario that's going to come up in a game where Aaron Boone's not going to know what to do. Righty-lefty? My kids know righty-lefty. Lefty-righty? Your kids know lefty-righty. How to get a guy in. How to lay down the bunt. When to steal second base, etc. So to me, the notion that a guy can't just step into the dugout and manage a baseball team is a joke. It ain't basketball. It ain't football. It's easy.
Right. Who's going to tell him the number to the bullpen? You see what I'm saying?
He doesn't have the phone number to the bullpen?
The phone number to the bullpen is critical to this situation. So who makes
Especially
the call
with
to the
their
pen?
bullpen.
He's going to pick up the phone and be like, what's the number? Hold up, my bad.
I've done that twice already. You keep telling me the number here. And here's the Boone home run. That was the formidable part of your Yankee fan base.
Very good.
Then, of course, he busted his knee playing basketball, and it cost him about $70 million. So, listen, I'm excited. Today's a rebirth for me, for the show, and, of course, for baseball. Now, the New York Mets open at home. The Yankees, of course, open in Toronto. Houston looking to obviously repeat based on their great year last year. The Dodgers have a lot of promise. The Cubs will go through all of it. But I do want to say one thing, and I would never want to start off with something depressing or negative at all. But you may have heard the news already that New York Met legend Rusty Staub passed away this morning. Or late last night. He had been battling an illness for quite some time, and it was multiple organ failure. Rusty Staub was 73 years old, and who can talk about Rusty Staub and not talk about a single at bat in 1973 in Game 4?
Hits it in the air, way back
Le Grand Orange. And I will tell you this about Rusty Staub, because I would not say that Rusty and I were friends. We were not. We knew each other, though, and we went to a lot of the same charity events together, golf tournaments, dinners, etc. Of all the former athletes that played, especially in that era, and the far majority of athletes that played in that era who did not make a lot of money are typically really good guys. Rusty Staub was one of the few guys that didn't understand how to say no. And I say that to his credit. No matter what event you had, no matter what type of charity you may have been participating in, Rusty Staub was a guarantee to say yes. And when Rusty Staub showed up, he was typically one of, if not the most popular guys there. He was a big man. We all remember, obviously, the Darryl Strawberry moment when he put on the Rusty Staub wig to try to squash a beef. But we will miss Rusty Staub. It's unfortunate that the Mets obviously take the field today under the umbrella of Rusty passing away. But in a weird way, there's something that's poetic about it, that a sold-out Citi Field will get a moment to honor the memory of one of the legendary New York Met characters and players, and that is Rusty Staub. So may he rest in peace, and I know the Mets will handle that well, and I know the fan base will do a great job of that today as well. Now, from a baseball perspective, it's a tale of two cities, as it always is. The difference this year, though, unlike last year where the Yankees had no expectations, is that the Yankees have all the expectations in the world. And if you think about it from this standpoint, Corey, your favorite team, they got within a game of the World Series last year when no one thought they were even going to make the playoffs. If they had the same exact year this year, it'd be deemed a failure. The Yankees have to get to the World Series. And then I think most Yankee fans would say, it's a roll of the dice when you get there. That would not be viewed as a bad year. If they lost it, you'd be pissed off and disappointed. But the New York Yankees, for the first time probably since, I want to say 2009 when they beat the Phillies, maybe 2010 the year after that, the expectations of this team are the type of which I have not seen in a long time. And the crazy thing is, it's well-deserved.
Now, listen, a deep playoff run is definitely expected from this New York Yankee team. I don't think it's fair to say they have to win the World Series. They have to appear in the World Series. The Houston Astros and, surprisingly, the Cleveland Indians are also very good teams in the American League.
Sure, but it's the story this year is about the Yankees. The New York Yankees are like a traveling rock band right now. Because of Stanton and because of Judge, not Bird, of course, right now. But the New York Yankees are the story. People forgot about Houston. They're not talking about the Dodgers. They don't care about Jeter in Florida. The New York Yankees are a baseball story this year. I told you we take phone calls. We do. The number, 844-843-6879. Let's go to Connecticut. Big Joe's on the phone. Joe, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Craig. Welcome back, man. I'm just so happy to hear your voice again.
Well, that's very kind of you. As you know, I'm very popular in Connecticut. I go to Sabone's and Delight Bakery all the time, and I get the hard crusted Italian. I put a stick of butter inside it, and I call it a day.
You're the man. You're the man. Hey, it's opening day. Go Yankees. Thank God you're back. We're sick of those losers on the fan. You are the man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Spank. Thank you very much for that. Listen, by the way, that was not a setup call. That's not a plan. That's just a guy that's happy to have me back. And as I said at the open, I'm happy to be back. I've missed doing it. I don't do a lot of things really well. There's some people that don't think I do this really well. But I'm comfortable doing it. I love doing it. And this show will have a life of its own. This show will be fantastic. This show will give you an escape from all the other crap that's out there. And if nothing else, I was interviewed yesterday by USA Today, and they said, what's your goals of the show? Can you give us an idea? Like, how do you judge success? Well, it's easy. And I've said it a million times, the audience will tell us if we're successful. The audience will determine if we're giving them content that they love, and they'll start coming to what we do over what other shows do, simply because we're giving people an alternative now. I said I have one other goal, and if I can achieve this goal, this would be fantastic. It'd be great to prove to America and to New York that it is possible for a white guy, a black guy, and a woman to do an entertaining show. If I can pull that off,
Really?
then I've done.
Is anybody trying anything like that now?
Then it's like moving mountains.
I don't think they have.
The name of the show is Carton and Friends. It is opening day baseball. We'll get all your phone calls, Yankees, Mets, or whoever your favorite team is. 844-843-6879. An update from Michelle, more from Corey, and you next, live. It's Carton and Friends.
Style.
A-dum-a-dum-a-dum-a-dum-dum-dum. Who thought you'd get Tupac out of the gate? I know Chrissy Bones downstairs is calling Governor Christie right now. I'm going to get all your calls coming in here as well. I promise you that. I got Michelle here as well. So let me do this. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
I don't want to blow Michelle off yet, but I got to get Christie in here, and I want to take some calls. So let me quickly go to Hector in Washington Heights. Hector, you're on Carton and Friends. What's cooking, buddy?
What's good, Hector?
My man Craig, how you doing, bud?
Pots and pans. What's up with you?
Not much, man. I had to call. Listen, man, when I read that you was going to have a show yesterday, I was so excited, Craigie. I spoken to you on the fan. I listened to you on the fan. I miss you like heck. I really don't like that you're really going with this Yankee stuff, but hey, man, I'm happy to hear you, and I had to call in and say congratulations, and I wish you all the best with, whatever's going on.
I appreciate that very much. That'll all work itself out for sure. I appreciate it. Yo, listen, going from a Met fan to a Yankee fan was not the easiest thing I ever did. But as you know, I started the church called Mets Fans for Yankees because I just got sick and tired of watching the Yankees win all the time. I'm a Knick fan. I'm a Jet fan. I was a Met fan. And then I just got also, tired of the Wilpon story. And I figured as long as I'm honest with the audience, most New Yorkers will know you're not allowed to do what I did. But if you're honest with them and you accept a bit of the beatdown you have to take when you do what I did, I think, frankly, many people are very receptive to it. I wore the judge's wig and the robe in the judge's chambers, and I bought in, and they bought in.
I think you made a good decision.
I made a great decision.
It's better for your career, and now you get to be around winners because Jets, Mets, Knicks, you know what I'm saying? That's not nothing there.
No, I know. Trust me, I'm well aware of it.
Yeah.
I got nothing going on in sports
for a long time, too.
And once I made the decision, it's almost like a guy that dates women all the time and then decides one day, I like dudes.
I don't understand.
That doesn't.
I don't
were
understand.
you telling me about that before the show?
No, we did. That was somebody else. We did not
weren't
have
having
this
that
conversation. I could see if you like going from blondes to brunettes or something like that, but from men to women.
That's
to
not.
men
You
is
didn't understand that one.
different.
Have you ever had a guy that liked you and then liked guys?
No, I never have.
No,
Well, not that I
like-
know of.
Well, that's right.
I don't think they would admit
There
it
you
to
go.
me,
Not
yeah.
that you know of.
You're also single, so you may have driven a lot of guys to the other side. It's possible
Probably.
as well,
I wouldn't be
right?
surprised, yeah.
That's it's certainly on the table that you could have did that, right?
Yes.
You know, the Yankees open in Toronto, and the Mets open at home. And while I like busting the Met fans' chops, there's just nothing like opening day. It is. I've always thought it's the single best day of the year. It trumps even the first Sunday of NFL football, which is really now a Thursday, and then a Sunday, and then a Monday. Opening day baseball still holds a special place in all of our hearts. I know they're getting Governor Christie on the phone now. Let me quickly start with Michelle, though.
Okay.
Some of the stories you got them. Let's go.
Okay, so it's the first time, speaking of opening day, it's the first time in 50 years that every team is opening the same day.
Yeah, by the way, I like that. It used to be that the Cincinnati Reds always had the first, the afternoon start, but there were still a lot of teams that didn't open till the next day. Then ESPN got involved, and you had the Sunday night opener, then the Reds, and then still some teams didn't play till Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was. This is the first time, I think you're right, about 50 years, where every single team plays today. Now, to me, I'm not sure if that was a Rob Manfred decision. If it was, it's smart because opening day should be opening day.
National.
Every team should open on the same day. I also think much like the Monday after the Super Bowl, it should be a holiday. And since most kids are either finishing spring break or starting spring break, there's no reason why we couldn't plan around that, right?
We could do that.
I know private schools have one thing, public schools have another thing. Kids in Ohio are homeschooled because they were birthed in a bathtub because there's wackadoos out there. I'm gonna have a baby in a bathtub. And that, by the way, as a quick aside, were you born in a bathtub?
No, son, I was born in the hospital. I was born in St. Luke's Women's Hospital, right uptown on 114th Street.
I was born in Mount Sinai,
that's right
about
there.
10 blocks away or so. Where were you born?
I was born in Tom's River Hospital down in Central Jersey.
Oh, you know what that means. Can you take a deep breath in? Can you sniff that in?
That's New Jersey.
Nah, it's not just New Jersey.
I know.
I have a home in New Jersey. I love New Jersey.
South Jersey a
That
little.
smells to me like... It smells to me like
Philadelphia.
I don't know what kind of perfume you're wearing, but it does not smell
Yeah,
good.
it's the one you gave me yesterday.
It's
Carton
chaos.
one.
She's wearing chaos. No wonder it smells like. For a minute, I thought it smelled good, and then I recognized that even chaos, the brilliant smell of my own cologne chaos, can somehow be
morphed into
ruined
Philadelphia.
by a Philadelphia odor. Yeah. My wife said to me last night, "You smell terrible." And I go, "Well, I haven't showered in a while." She goes, "No, that's not it. What are you wearing?" I go, "I have this new Old Spice on this." She goes, "No, that's not it." She goes, "Are you wearing chaos?"
That's your
And I go,
that's
"Yeah,
your
I'm
brand.
wearing nighttime chaos." She goes, "Don't ever do that again."
Really?
All right, so
I got the daytime joint. Good looking out for that.
I like the daytime a little better than nighttime as well. All right, so 50 years, but everybody opens today, which I think is smart. I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay, so back to more opening day news. I didn't know that people make roughly $10 million a year had to carry their own luggage.
What do you mean by that?
I would think they'd have somebody carry it for them. I mean, you're making that much money. Why not have someone else carry it for you? You know?
By the way, if I was making $10 million a year, I would have people doing a lot of things for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like you coming
Like
to
what?
America. The royal balls are clean, and the two girls pop up from under the jacuzzi.
One of the great scenes.
Yes, no doubt. So what happened? What
All
are
right,
you
so
referencing?
Salvador Perez has just finished his
Catcher
last
for the
spring-
Royals, right?
Catcher for the Royals, just finished his last spring training game and was ready for opening day.
Right.
Unfortunately, things didn't go accordingly. Perez hyperextended his knee while carrying the luggage into his house. It is a grade
I ain't
2
buying it.
tear
Not buying it,
of his
son.
MCL.
Hold on, time
And-
out.
Yeah.
A grade 2 tear?
A grade 2 tear from carrying luggage. He missed
There's
a
no
step.
way.
No, didn't
That-
happen.
You missed a step my ass.
Yeah.
Maybe he missed 2 steps.
Does anybody miss a step in their own crib and tear their ACL?
No,
Never.
You can miss a step, but you're not. And by the way, if he was bringing his luggage in, what did he fall up the stairs? Right? Like
Exactly.
if you're telling me
That's
that
true.
you're carrying big luggage down the stairs,
Right.
Maybe you could slip. Unlikely, but
up
then you
you
hit your
go.
head or something. Like
Yeah.
to tear or sprain your MCL,
Yeah.
something of pretty good force has to hit that thing sideways.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
Either
that's
this way
true.
or
I
that
didn't think
way.
of it like that.
Now, unless you're going to tell me that cuz is walking up the stairs and he's holding his suitcase out to the right, dangling, he accidentally falls left, the
And then the suitcase drops.
pops him in. No.
Too much has to happen. And whenever I hear a story like this, I'm like, son was walking down the stairs and tripped over a stripper. That's probably what happened. That's more likely than this luggage story.
Well, remember the golfer, was it Dustin Johnson?
Somebody.
There was a golfer, I think like at the U.S. Open last year.
I remember this story.
I thought it was
yeah.
Dustin Johnson. Who, I don't want to say, if it wasn't, I'm sure
My
golf
bad.
fans will correct me, but I thought it was DJ, where they're like, yep, all of a sudden he's not available for the third. And he was playing his ass off, too. He's not available. He fell down a flight of stairs. Let me tell you
I do remember
something.
the story.
Adults, men or women, adults never fall down an entire flight of stairs. Just think about your life. You might trip and fall down.
Yeah.
You don't fall down, pump, an entire flight unless
You can get pushed.
You could get pushed. You could get wrestled. You could get vaporized, and you could be drunk. But adults do not accidentally fall down an entire flight of stairs.
I'm not buying this,
At
Sal
least
Perez.
not where I come from.
No.
And not from Harlem either,
Nope,
I
not
assume,
gonna
right?
happen.
Right. Hey, let's, do we have Governor Christie on the horn yet? I know he's joining us here in a few moments. And then later this morning, Al Leiter is going to join us as well.
Shout out to Al Leiter.
I know, I see that they're dialing him right now. But let me go to a Bob in Vermont on Carton and Friends. Bobby, hang on one sec, Bob. Let me now go to a very special hotline caller. When you talk about a man's career and the important aspects and iconic moments in a public figure's career, typically when a public figure is done doing what he did well, he looks back on life and credits the people in his life that made him successful, right? Governor Christie's written a book called Thank You, Craig. And I'm glad that he recognized my availability to him all the time and my making him as popular a governor as he used to be. Governor Christie, our first ever guest on Carton and Friends. Good morning, Christopher. How are you today?
Craig, what a relief to have you back on the air.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's appears to be a growing sentiment that there's not a lot to listen to with me gone.
Well, I'll tell you this. I haven't started to write that book, Thank You, Craig, yet, but I'm going to get to it very soon.
Well, listen, as long as I'll take either the cover or the inside cover, or if you want me to write the forward for you, I'd be happy to do that as well. But the fact that you're even considering it is great. And I know for you today's a very special day because even you today think that your team has a chance, as silly as it is, to win a World Series.
We'll be hoisting the Commissioner's Trophy right at the end of October, Craig.
Yes, Chris, of course, is a diehard Met fan. When I first got the job at the Fan and he first became governor, we celebrated over some nachos and popcorn just to the left of home plate at Shea Stadium. Are you going to the game?
Yes, sir.
How many opening days would you say in your lifetime you've been to?
Since 1984, I have only missed 2.
So about 32 out of the last 34. That's
Correct.
By the way, that's you either get respect for being a great fan or just being crazy to buy into the notion that the Mets can win every single year. One or the other, right?
I think it's the latter.
No doubt. Hey, while I got you on the phone, this is Governor Christie. I got to ask you 2 or 3 quick, serious things. You have a moment for that?
Of course.
All right. So there's a big deal going on right now when it comes to sports wagering in New Jersey. Obviously, when you were governor, the case was a Christie versus NCAA. Now it's Murphy versus NCAA. Just give me a quick overview on where you think that is and when you think that will get resolved one way or the other.
I expect that the state of New Jersey will win that case, and that will win it in either May or June of this year.
May now what is there, a 9-judge vote on that?
Correct. There's 9 justices on the Supreme Court, and I attended the argument back in December, representing the state, and I feel, given the tenor of the arguments, I feel pretty good that we're going to get 5 or 6 votes.
So you need 5, of course, to win. It'd be 5-4. Do you think that if the vote would allow all forms of sports wagering, or do you think there'd still be limitations on what the public could do?
I I don't think there'll be limitations that the Supreme Court will put down. I do think that, each state then will have the ability to be able to make their own decision about whether they want to have sports gaming at all, and if they do, how they want to control it.
And do you think that would apply to the burgeoning area of esports wagering as well, or was the bill written or the law written that you're trying to get passed, that you were trying to get passed solely for professional or college sports wagering?
Craig, it did not include esports wagering, but I'm sure that after the Supreme Court makes the ruling, if we're successful, that the legislature and the governor would look at including esports wagering as well.
Got it. Now, the only limitations, though, would be the location, which, as I understand it, would be Atlantic City casinos or established racetracks in the state as well, but nowhere else, right?
No, nowhere else. It's going to be casinos, racetracks, and former racetracks.
Got it. So there are some racetracks that have been shuttered, but the property maintains the proposed license to allow sports wagering, which, frankly, would make the property worth a lot more and bring more people to those specific areas, whether they be Cherry Hill, New Jersey, or anywhere else, I suppose, right?
Correct. Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
So what is your, if you have one, do you have an opening day good luck type of scenario? Do you wear a certain thing, like when you went to Cowboy games, you wore that ugly sweater? Do you have something for the Mets that you do on opening day?
No, I don't. I just show up. Showing up 32 of the last 34 years, that's my opening day ritual. I used to tell the folks when I was United States Attorney, my secretary would say, "Why aren't you coming in on this particular day?" And I'd say, "You must treat opening day for me as if it's a national holiday."
Yes, and by the way, it should be. The two sports days that should be national holidays are opening day and the Monday after the Super Bowl. And Michelle was telling us that, this is the first time in 50 years every single baseball team opens on the same day, which I think is the way it ought to be. I give Rob Manfred credit for that.
I do give Rob Manfred credit for that. It should be a big new day. Now, listen, I hate that it's March 29th.
Yep.
I hate that I'm looking out the back window of my house and I still see snow on the ground here in New Jersey, and the weather is going to be pretty lousy. I wish we could get these games going a little bit later in April, but I know with all the scheduling problems and the additional playoffs, that's part of my past, not part of my future. But it'll be a little cold and rainy out there today. But let's remember this, for all the Mets fans out there, the Mets have the best record of any franchise in baseball history on opening day. We're 36-20. We have the best winning percentage on opening day, and we're going to add to it today.
And if when you and your kids are driving in to watch the game today, if I gave you a choice of two songs but you could only pick one, is the Christie family more into the Meet the Mets song or into the Curly Shuffle?
Meet the Mets.
Should we do an a cappella rendition of it right now, you and I together?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
And a one and a two. Meet the Mets. Greet the Mets.
Meet the Mets. Step right up and meet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking that ball. Hitting those home runs over the wall. East side, west side. Everybody's coming round to meet METS Mets of New York town.
Governor Christie, I love you. Have a great time at Citi Field today. I do hope the Mets win. It's opening day. Every home team should win on opening day except for Toronto, of course, this year. And I can't thank you enough for, A, being a friend, and B, being the very first guest in what, knock on wood, will be a long run here for Carton and Friends. Thank you, and I'll talk to you later on.
Well, welcome back to the air. It is a relief to have your entertainment back in the morning, and I look forward to listening.
And you're saying now that there's nothing else worth listening to from 9 to 1, correct?
What I'm saying is you are the best thing to listen to from 9 to 1.
Thank you, buddy. Be well. Governor Christie of New Jersey joining us. Al Leiter will come by later this morning. He'll break down all the baseball stuff for you. We'll get your phone calls. The number's 844-843-6879. Even though we come from New York, and we live in New York, and we're New York fans, there are other teams, believe it or not, shockingly, there are other teams that think they have the best shot of winning a World Series. Who are those teams? And the update from Michelle. We'll get to it. And Corey from the cheap seats.
Yeah.
And you on the phone. It's only day one of Carton and Friends. Fantasy Sports Radio Network, the iHeart app, the TuneIn app, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook. We're everywhere. What? Live from Studio 34 in Manhattan, it's Carton and Friends. Great to have you here. It's weird when you tell people how to listen to the show when they're already listening, so they figured it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, Fantasy Sports Radio Network, the Fantasy Sports app, TuneIn, iHeart, and they tell me we'll have some announcements pretty soon on other platforms where you can watch the show and listen to the show. I should tell you that one of the great things that the company that employs us does, outside of Carton and Friends, is they are the foremost place to go for fantasy. So let me tell you that Fantasy Factors, the perfect daily fantasy site for the casual recreational player. Flatter prize pools? Not sure what that means. What's a flat prize pool?
It means more money goes to the winners, more money put back into the actual competitors.
All right. Flatter prize pools, smaller field, single entry contests only. Fantasy Factor always has fun contests going on. This year, Fantasy Factor is running a $100,000 home run derby. Simply sign up and enter www.fantasyfactor.com. Corey's got a background in fantasy, which will come into play throughout baseball season for us. We'll have some fantasy leagues, and you never know. You never know whether it's FanDuel or DraftKings. There might be something to tell you about, and with those people coming up as well. And I'm willing to take everybody on in fantasy.
I'm good with it too.
Although
I'll hop in a couple nights though. I can't do every night, Craig. I'm busy. I can't.
You're busy?
You know what I'm saying? I be grinding. You feel what I'm saying? I got different now. This new opportunity. My nights are a little bit more. Things to do. You feel what I'm saying?
Things to do, or I mean, like going to sleep.
No, well, go to sleep at a good hour too. But
homework.
my DM is lit. Let's just say that.
Got it. All right.
Yeah,
I'm going to learn what that means at some point.
His DMs are blowing up. He's got mad chicks sliding in there.
Direct message is being attacked by
Oh,
Co-eds.
people are all over you right now.
Co-eds are attacking my direct message.
Now that your name is all over the place, co-eds are all over you.
Yes, this is
all right.
true.
So it's another gift that I've given you.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, Michelle, let's finish that update. Go
All
ahead.
right, so last bit of spring training update. So as Twitter put it perfectly, Dodgers spring training camp comes to a crappy end when a sewage pipe bursts on the field during the forcing the umps to end the game in the 5th inning.
Huh.
So the sewage pipe broke.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That
son.
only happens in the 5 boroughs, I thought. I didn't realize that was that could happen at the major league level.
You ever be a place where the sewage start leaking? The smell is horrific.
The
You
only
know
thing I
what I'm
can think of is whenever anyone talks about sewage, the first person you have to think of is Andy Dufresne.
Who's that?
Oh, come on.
Andy who?
I left a show where the guys I worked with knew nothing about movies. And now I'm doing a new show.
Nothing.
I'm doing a new show where my friends know nothing about movies.
Andy who?
We gotta start these movie nights ASAP.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I miss my friend, Andy Dufresne. Andy crawled through 200 feet of crap and came out smelling like a rose. You know who Andy Dufresne is?
What movie is this?
I ain't going to tell you.
All right.
Hey, Chrissy Bones, make a note. That's another thing we have to do is make sure these people, my friends, watch movies, the classics, please. What else?
Okay, so more Odell Beckham rumors.
Yep.
The New York Giants keep teetering back and forth with the future of Odell Beckham, but now they are reportedly seeking at least 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, by the way, listen, I don't know if these stories are accurate or not because I've heard the exact opposite story that they're not going to trade him. Now they are going to trade him.
Mm-hmm.
He'd only go to the Rams. But 2 first-round draft picks actually, to me, makes sense because dudes will give up first-round draft picks for potential players. I got a guy who's arguably the best wide receiver in the game. So if I'm the Rams, who had a great breakout year last year, who now throw the ball all over the place, if I said to the Rams, even because first-round draft picks are still, you don't know if you get them right. A lot of people make mistakes. I'm giving you the best wide receiver in football. Why wouldn't you give up 2 first-round draft picks for that?
You give him 1 this year, give him 1 next year. But it makes no sense for the New York Giants to do this move. First of all, why would you trade him inside the conference to an up-and-coming team? And second, do New York Giant fans really think you're going to start the season with your starting wide receivers as Brandon Marshall and Sterling Shepard? They're not moving this guy.
I'll tell you
they
why.
might as well bring back Hakeem Nicks and Victor Cruz if they want to play like that.
I would tell you why. And I've said many times, you do not trade generational talent because it's too hard to come by. And I agree with what you said yesterday, that he is the best offensive player in the history of the franchise. He's only been around for 4 years now. We're 3 because of the injury last year. I view it this way. If the Giants trade him, they're also telling the fan base, we know we're not good enough to win this year. Now, lately the rhetoric has been, even if they draft a quarterback, Eli Manning is going to start for them at least another year. You do that if you think you are good enough to win a Super Bowl. If you get rid of your best offensive player for future draft picks, even if obviously one of them I assume would be this year, and the other first-round draft pick would be next year or later years, you are telling your fan base we're not ready. And in the world of sports, especially in New York, when you are coming off a 3-13 year, when you only have 1 playoff win in the last 6 years for the New York Giants, you cannot tell that fan base that we're coming back with Eli Manning again without our best offensive player because we're going to get 2 first-round draft picks. You can't be half pregnant. You got to go one way or the other. Either you're telling your fan base that you are good enough to win now and you're going to try to win now, or you're telling your fan base and asking them to be patient because we're going to build something that's going to be special down the line.
Can't be half pregnant. I've never heard that before.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
You have 2 choices in life, and here they are.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
That's it. Andy Dufresne. You can either get busy living or get busy dying. That's it. I've decided to get busy living.
I'm trying to live, son.
You are trying to live. We're all trying to live. Give me one more story. We'll let you get out of here.
Okay, trust the process. So
Trust
Markel,
the process. That's the big thing in sports in Philly.
This is Joel Embiid's thing, right?
Yes, it is. So Markel Fultz just recovered from being injured, and his second game back, he was trying to hand off the ball to Joel Embiid.
Right.
And he accidentally smashed his head into Joel. Fultz was fine, but Joel suffered a facial contusion.
Yeah, a facial contusion. I saw it. I was actually watching the game because my 7-year-old was at the game with his pop-up. And I just want to say, on a quick aside, I saw something last night that disgusted me. And I've had nightmares about it. I did not sleep well last night because of it. I'm watching my beloved Knicks play against the Sixers, and the Sixers blew them out, double-digit win, which is frankly irrelevant. My father-in-law has tickets. He's like 2 rows off the court. He's had tickets for the Sixers for 20 years.
This is Wells Fargo, right?
This is down in Philadelphia, yeah. So I'm turning on the game because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm just watching the Knicks. Now, I know that my kids are in Philly right now. They're on spring break, and they're at the game. My father-in-law is sitting next to my 7-year-old, Anthony. Anthony's name is actually Anthony A.I., big fan of Iverson, right?
Yes.
I see my father-in-law wearing a red Sixers jersey, white long-sleeve shirt underneath it.
Okay.
Sitting to his right is a handsome 7-year-old named Anthony Carton, wearing a red Sixers jersey with a white long-sleeve shirt underneath it, as if they were twins.
Yes.
I called my father-in-law up, and I said, your behavior is disgusting, and it must come to an end now. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, my son is wearing, and I know it's an Iverson jersey he's got him in, he's wearing a Sixers jersey at a Knicks game, and he said that's what he wanted to wear. Oh. So I said, put the boy on the phone. I talked to him, now he's 7. I go, Anthony, what are you doing? He goes, what do you mean, Daddy? I go, you take that jersey off right now and you put a Knick jersey on. He goes, I like the way this one looks.
Yeah.
He goes, it is an Iverson jersey after all. And I've lost, of my 4 kids, I've now lost 2 of them to Philly. My middle boys are New York through and through. So it's 2 and 2.
So
but right
your wife's
behind,
side of the family's from Philly?
Yep.
Okay.
Behind my back, they put a Sixers jersey on this kid, and there's nothing I can do about it.
My son roots for the D.C. football team, so I know where you're coming from. Now, me being a Dallas Cowboy fan, I almost put him out. But he was too young when he made the decision to me to put him out.
Can't put a 5-year-old out.
No, it was like, all right, well, you can stay. But he roots for the D.C. football team. Dallas Cowboy fans, my entire family except for him, he's shunned.
He should be shunned.
Yes.
You cut him right out of the Parson will.
That
Boom,
was done.
out.
Well, we're gonna work on that will like next week.
This job's going to help with that. I will say this. I saw the Fultz Joel Embiid play, and I didn't see him get cut or nothing, but he did make contact with him. They took Embiid off. They walked him in. He looked like he was going to collapse in the tunnel, which he did. He went down to a knee. It was really more concussion protocol.
He's ruled out.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's absolutely fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
The Sixers clinched the playoff spot. I wouldn't be shocked if he sits out a game or 2. But he is fine. Fultz adds new dimension to the Sixers. They're not a team you necessarily want to play right now in the first round of the playoffs. But I will tell you this. They're a fun team to watch, if nothing else. They're a fun team to watch. That being said,
who's their first round matchup? Though?
Like all other Philadelphia teams, I hope they embarrass themselves in the very first round.
It will happen at some point.
And I hope that they lose in spectacular fashion. Go ahead.
I think right now they would be going up against the Cavaliers in the first round of the playoffs, which would be an entertaining series, but obviously LeBron James and that crew would advance.
Yeah, it'd be a sweep, too. Joey's in Queens on Carton and Friends. Joe, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Craig, what is up, my man?
What is up? What's cooking with you?
So all seriousness, I want to tell you, good luck. I've missed you a lot. I haven't talked to you in a while. All these months that have gone on, it's obvious. You made your last show, bro. You were the man that made that show. It's not even, you can't even listen to it anymore. And Craig, they still haven't caught the people that vandalized LeBron's house. I missed bringing that up and shit like that.
Thank you, Jerry.
Listen, welcome back, and I'll be calling you. Thanks, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. I went on the air and I said there was no way that vandals wrote the N-word on LeBron James's gate.
Right, I remember.
I still don't think they did, and I'll go to my grave telling you that they didn't. Joining us on the hotline now is he goes by the name Mr. Baseball. He actually has business cards that he hands out to people and says, "Hi, my name is Mr. Baseball," and that is Al Leiter. Al, Carton and Friends, how you doing, buddy?
Hello. I actually been listening.
Hello.
So first of all, Michelle.
Hi, Al. How are you?
Hello, everybody. By the way, Craig, you know how I feel about you.
Yes.
Congrats and best of luck.
Thank you.
Corey, don't know you, but I know of you. Yankees, way to go. Michelle,
Yes.
speak up. Do not let Craigie bully you around, all right?
Okay, I will.
Good. You know, Michelle used to be at MLB Network,
Yep.
and now she's doing all sorts of great things, and I'm glad you hired her.
Yeah, well, listen,
Michelle, you were born at wait a minute here, Craigie. Michelle, you were born at Community Memorial Hospital in Toms River.
I was.
Ocean County, Craig and Corey, is a divided community between Mets, Yankees, and Philadelphia. It is not Philadelphia. If you go south of Route 37, I might give it to you. If you're down in Tuckerton, Waretown, getting closer to Atlantic City, the line is divided. But
Yes.
Toms River, a lot of New Yorkers.
Right, that's like the
mostly
cutoff
Yankee
line
fans.
for it.
Well, it seems
That's
to me
exactly
like
right. And you know why, Michelle? You know why, Michelle? Tell Craig Carton and Corey why that's the cutoff line.
Because
for three.
Go ahead.
Because
Go
most people that like LBI area, most people from there that go to vacation down there are from Philly, but the other half are from North Jersey. But if you go to any towns further than that, it's all Philly territory.
Right, I get it.
Everyone at all those beach
That's
areas,
why.
it's all Philly people.
That's why when the water's blowing north, it smells so bad.
Because you're from
But wait a
Central,
minute, you
Al,
got to go
right?
one further. Michelle, you got to go one further. And I know this because growing up, I was very blessed and lucky to sit there as a young left-handed fat kid at 10 or 12 years old. And I could, on a summer night, watch Channel 17. That would be Harry Callis and Richie Ashburn with Steve Carlton towing the hill at Veterans Stadium on Channel 17. You know this, Craig, because you were from down that way. And then, or at least you worked down there. Then I flip over to Channel 11, and I watch, let's see, what do I have?
You probably watched the Benny Hill show. You're old enough to have seen it. I don't know what he's doing now.
All right. Now that comes back from the theme song from the 70s. And I got Frank Messer, Rizzuto, and White.
Right.
And I got Ron Guidry on the mound, another fantastic lefty.
Right.
And then I did listen to Chris Christie sing the Mets song. You put on Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner, and I got to watch Jerry Kuzman or John Matlack. So that is what made Toms River in Ocean County such a special place.
And they went to a Little League World Series as well. It's like Baseball Central for New Jersey. Of course, for those of you that don't know.
Now, let's get on to Shawshank Redemption, Craig.
Yes, go ahead.
You guys are foolish for not knowing Shawshank Redemption.
Right. It's the same thing at the Fan. They don't watch movies. I told them the other day we're going to have a monthly Carton and Friends movie night because how do you not know Andy Dufresne?
No idea.
Really, Corey, Michelle, you got to watch it. It's always like whenever you watch that great movie, you go, oh, my God, that's my favorite movie of all time. And then there's another one that comes out. When Shawshank Redemption came out, you got to watch it. Tim Robbins, fantastic. By the way, Tim Robbins is a huge Mets fan. What a great movie. So go, get on your Netflix.
I'll make sure to check it out this weekend.
Did you ever play on a team that went into the season with the expectations this year's Yankees team has?
I would say every year, Craig, and I'm not bullshitting you, every year other than in 1996, when I signed as a free agent from Toronto to the Marlins, although the following year we win the World Series, I was blessed and lucky, first of all, to play in the big leagues for as long as I did. But every single team I was on, the club, well, that's not totally true because I think at the end there with the Mets, it got a little squirrely there in 03 and 04. But every year, pretty much, I had an owner, a general manager, and a team that was actually trying to win it all, or at least be a postseason team, which is unbelievable how lucky I was. So yes, I played, from 96 to 97, what the Marlins did and bringing in some great players, and we win the World Series. My time in Toronto, every year I was up there. We were winning back-to-back in 92, 93. beating the Braves and the Phillies, respectively.
They're telling me I have a short amount of time because I have a break, but can you explain to me why whenever I call you and you don't answer the phone, this is your voicemail message?
30-year-old Al Leiter comes home. Struck him out. The Marlins have their first no-hitter
Like, isn't it enough already?
Hey, I got to put myself up, man.
Hey, are you broadcasting today or just watching baseball as a fan today?
I'm watching as a fan, and I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah.
Well, listen, we, I love you. I appreciate your support away from all the cameras and radio and microphones and all that stuff. And as we get this thing cracking, we'd love to have you back, have you in studio, and value your friendship a great deal. So thanks for checking in.
Same here, Craig. Good luck, you guys.
Al Leiter, everybody. Met Yankee, Marlin, no hitter. What hasn't he done? We got more you coming up, I promise, on the phones. 844-843-6879. We go live all the way to 1 o'clock right here in the heart of Manhattan on Studio 34. Don't go nowhere.
Does your fantasy team suck? Maybe you need us, the Fantasy Sports Radio Network, the only free 24/7 Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
Fantasy Sports Radio Network. News update.
In the NBA, Kevin Love exhibited concussion symptoms at halftime of Tuesday's game versus the Heat. Love will be reevaluated on Wednesday morning before a decision is made if he needs to enter the concussion protocol. Damian Lillard will miss Wednesday's game versus the Grizzlies. Lillard is flying home for the birth of his child. In baseball, Athletics top pitching prospect A.J. Puck will undergo Tommy John reconstructive elbow surgery. Puck was shut down last week in A's camp with what was originally termed as bicep soreness. Opening day may be up in the air for Ian Kinsler. Kinsler was held out of Monday and Tuesday spring training games due to groin tightness. And Mark Melancon is still, quote, feeling something in his right arm, per Alex Pavlovic of NBC Sports Bay Area. Pavlovic notes that the Giants are, quote, unsure if he'll be ready for opening day. I'm Dan Stratford, and this has been your Fantasy Sports Radio Network News Update.
Stay tuned to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network for more updates at the top of every hour.
It never gets old.
All right, everyone. 2 truths, 1 lie.
I was going to be on The Real World. I play the oboe. And I saved a kid's life.
You definitely never saved a kid's life.
I'm serious. Last summer, I donated bone marrow to a kid who had leukemia.
Saving a life. The truth is, it's easier than you think. Learn how at dkms.org.
Who knew we were living with a hero?
A hero who plays the oboe.
Fantasy.
We had agreed that if it came down to Tanaka or Keuchel, Frank adamantly wanted Dallas Keuchel.
I'm just kind of...
The party getting started. It's all night. The party getting started. It's all night. The party getting started. It's all night. The party getting started. It's all night.
Carton and Friends.
Oh, hello, friends. You're here early.
Everybody should worry and worry a lot.
Friends, if I may have your attention.
The blind squirrel can find the nut. Hour number 2, it's Carton and Friends. Those of you that are just checking the show out, I want to thank you for finding us, for being supportive, and for being a part of the new family, and yes, and showing us some love. You can call the show, 844, I keep looking down so I can memorize the number, 844-843-6879. That's 844-843-6879. It's opening day baseball. I know a lot of you that are listening right now are getting ready to get in the car or get on the train and get your butts out to Citi Field for the New York Met opener. Noah Syndergaard on the mound. We will focus on things outside of New York, of course, as well. Corey's going to take us around the league in a bit. And the New York Yankees play just before 4 o'clock today in Toronto. Their opening day is obviously less than a week away. But the New York Yankees will open up in Toronto, and Severino takes the mound or the bump as they say for them. Let me take a couple calls in
He's
here right now.
towing the slab. That's what
The
they
slab.
say. That's what the purists say. He's
To
towing
bump,
the slab.
they go bump. Sometimes they go bump.
Towing the slab.
Towing the slab, or who's got the bump?
Yeah.
So if you're in a club and someone asks you for the bump, that's a whole different
story.
thing. Michelle can walk us through that, right?
Or if it's nighttime and you're with your significant other and they say there's a bump, then that's also a different kind of bump.
Yes.
Not the bump we're looking for today.
There's a lot of different. Well, there's 2 types of bumps. 3 if you call a speed bump. But at a club, a bump you want to avoid.
Yes.
Because that's typically a setup or trap.
Yes.
In baseball, a bump is, of course, the mound.
Yeah.
Now, there are many different definitions for mound.
That's true, too.
I'm going to leave many of them alone because it's our first show. And, I think
Why not?
YouTube's already kicked us off, so we want to make sure we don't mess that up anymore. Here's Johnny in the Bronx on the Carton and Friends.
BX.
Johnny, good morning. What's cooking, buddy?
Yo, my brother, how are you?
My man, Pots and Pans. What's up?
Listen, I've been with you guys. First of all, I'm in Tampa. I'm from the Bronx. I used to work in the Hunts Point Market. I've been with you from day one, 10 years. God, dude, you are the best. You're such a good dad. But, my God, your Susan Waldman, your Mad Dog impressions, bro. I have them. I play them, YouTube them, and I play them all the time.
Of all the
I don't even
dramatic
like to talk about
things.
that.
Well, listen,
You're the man, dude. God bless. It's so great to have you back, bro. Now, let's talk a little sports.
Go.
Do the Mets have any shot?
Yeah, by the way, I'm the only guy that's bullish on the Mets. I think, if you sell the Mets short this year, you're doing yourself a disservice because I think by default they're going to be healthier than they were last year. I think, if you remember 2 years ago, they were going to have the $1 billion pitching staff. Every one of those guys is still on the roster other than Wheeler, who's starting in the minors. So why wouldn't you think that this would be the year when they stay relatively healthy? And if they are healthy, you will have the best starting pitching staff in the National League. The question is going to be like it always is, can they score enough runs to win? But I think the New York Mets will be one of the surprise teams in the National League. And when I say that, I don't mean win 100 games, Johnny, but I do think the New York Mets will be relevant come August 1st, and that'd be more than they've done for you the last couple of years.
My God, Greg, it's so good to have you back. Now, listen, I'm going to bring up a funny topic, but not, please. Are the Jets going to mess this up on third pick of the draft? Only the Jets. And I've been with them from Richard Todd.
You know, it's weird. I obviously, thank you for the call, Johnny. I'm a diehard Jet fan. And I love Mikey McCagnon, the general manager.
That's your nickname for him, Mikey Mack?
Well, it's not it's not all that clever.
No, but I'm saying I never heard him referred to as Mikey Mack. You have a pet name for the Jet GM. That's a pet name. That's what it sounded like to me.
Okay. Yeah, I have a pet name. That's right.
All right, cool.
Mikey Mack.
All right.
I mean, what do you want me to call? McCagnon's too damn long
That's
to
a long
say.
name, but I didn't know that you rolled that right off the top like you and him had discussed this before.
Yeah,
like
that's
he was
right.
like, call me Mikey Mack.
Oh,
And
no,
you was
we
like,
have
okay.
we've discussed it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Mikey Mack. By the way, I think he likes Mikey Mack.
He probably does.
Because it's very colloquial. It means like we're friends.
Yeah, all right.
Now I'm not sure if he's still my friend. When you go through some of the stuff I've been through, some people just like rats. I'm not saying Mikey Mack's one of those guys.
Okay.
I imagine that he probably thinks very highly of me still. I've not talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
But my point about Mikey Mack is he's still the Jet GM. And by default, there seems to be a bit of a DNA influx of not doing the right thing, whether that goes back to Mike Tannenbaum bringing in my main man, Tim Tebow, not the smartest football move.
You referenced Tebow once a show.
Every episode so far. Our rehearsals.
Whether that Tim Tebow's the best looking guy I've ever seen. All right.
All right.
You would say yes to Tim Tebow so fast your head would spin. Tim Tebow could walk.
I wouldn't.
Where do you bartend? What's the name of the place?
Texas, Arizona.
If Tim Tebow walked in, where is it? Jersey City?
No, Hoboken.
If Tim Tebow walked into Hoboken, first off, he'd be walking on the water.
Tim Tebow come floating out.
He'd be floating out on top of the snow, the ice, the water. He would walk in, and there'd be a shine about him. You would be at the bar in Texas, Arizona, and you would hear,
oh my God.
And you would look up. It's almost like when you find the chest in Fortnite, and you have the guns and the ammo inside it, and there's a glow coming from it.
Yeah.
It'd be like slow motion. You would turn around.
You would knock drinks off the counter. You feel what I'm saying? Drinks fall off the counter.
And you look at me, and he would have an aura. And all he would say is, because he don't drink, it'd be, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you know where Frank Sinatra Way is?" And you would be like, yes, I do.
The next thing you know, Tim Tebow's like, no, please, ma'am, please refrain
That's
right
what I
now.
mean.
Ladies and
he's
gentlemen,
nice. He's
in a
nice,
very
like, let him
special
be his
Page
nice
6
little-
exclusive, single bartender winds up naked for no reason on the top of her bar, giving Tim Tebow directions to Frank Sinatra Way.
So, but did Tim Tebow, like, he was a virgin for a minute, right?
Ah, stop with that.
Yeah, I'm about to say that wasn't, I don't think that was true.
No.
Especially at Florida.
I will tell you this, though. If there was a Super Bowl in Florida when he was still in college.
Yeah.
And his arm was in a sling. And I went to a Playboy Rolls Royce party at this mansion down in Florida.
Yeah.
And it was a little chilly that night. I won't forget that. And all of a sudden there was a buzz.
Tim Tebow's here. Tim Tebow's here.
Now, I don't think he was a virgin then either, because he was like a senior at Florida.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow's here. And you would have thought that there was an offer made to only the women at the party of free money.
Yeah.
Because every dude I know that was talking to a young lady, whether they be Playboy Playmates or just random girls who were at the party, it all of a sudden it went from like a dope party to when you looked around, it was all dudes.
The energy shifted.
And I go, where'd everybody go? And they go,
Tim Tebow's here.
So I was knee deep in it. So I sauntered.
In what?
In the booze.
Oh, okay.
In the booze. You're funny.
I was about to ask that too.
That was before Tim Tebow took his shirt off and slowly jogged in the rain.
Right, cool.
They tell me I have Staten Island Borough President Jimmy Otto on the line. Jimmy, give me 1 second. So I go over to where Tim Tebow's at, and he's being very polite. His arms in a sling. He's posing. There's like a line of women in like lingerie.
Yeah.
Right? Take a picture? Oh, Tim Tebow. So I go over and I go, yo, I'll get my picture with Tim Tebow. And his big beef security
Did you
guards go,
skip the women, though? Did you
yes,
skip? You skipped the women, Craig?
I said it like this. I go, what, this is only for women? And he goes, and Tim was cool. He goes, no, we can take a picture. I go, thank you. Because the beefy guard's like, what do you want? I go, I'll take a picture with Timmy. And I cut the lingerie line.
Yeah.
And it was me and Tebow, and I'm ear to ear smiling because I got, Don and Julio were both hanging out with me all night. And I was the only dude that took a picture with Tim Tebow.
And you
Years
skipped
later,
the
we
women.
became friends over guacamole.
There you go. I heard that story.
Jimmy Otto is the Staten Island Borough President. He believes in wood bats over aluminum, and he's a lousy wiffle ball player. But he's on Carton and Friends. Jimmy, how you been, buddy? Do I have Jim there or no? Help me out here, guys. Yes or no? I do not have Jim. Jimmy, are you there, buddy? I know in Staten Island sometimes it takes 2 lessons to learn how to use the phone. And Jim has been the Staten Island Borough President, seems like forever.
Okay.
So maybe he just skipped the second lesson. Here's Bob in Vermont, though, on Carton and Friends. Bobby, good morning. How are you, sir? All right. Hey, Bob, what's going on, buddy? All right. I assume we're having a small phone problem, but the phone system we have here has never been overwhelmed like this before. So just give us a moment to figure it out.
Bob is
the number is 844-843-6879. Let me say hi to Bob in Vermont. Bob, good morning. You're on Carton and Friends. What's cooking, buddy?
Hey, Craig, how you doing?
What is up?
What's good, Bob?
I missed you a lot. I can't believe you're back. I'm so happy that you're back.
Thank you very much. We're back and we ain't going
And
nowhere.
I like the lady to your left. She's very pretty.
Thank
And I
you.
like the guy's hat he's wearing today.
Well,
Yankee
that's
hat.
Corey's rocking the Yankee NY because
Thank you,
he's
Bob.
a diehard Yankee
Bob,
fan.
I'm a friend now, too, Bob.
That's right. Well, good talking to you, Bob. I'm glad that you approve of my friends. I appreciate that. I think I have Jimmy on the line now, the Staten Island Borough President. Jim, it's Craig. How you been, bud?
5 years you've been ducking me, and you cut me off, and you claim that I don't know how to use the phone. 5 years you've been ducking me for a wiffle ball game. I finally tracked you down. So when are we playing?
You give me a date and a location and a time, and I will be there. We could, by the way,
So let's do it for charity.
we could do it in your office if you want. Don't matter to me where we do it. I'm striking you out on 3. You know that.
Craigie, I just want to let you know that I've embraced the launch angle phenomenon. I've added loft to my swing. So you're pretty much in trouble.
Well, you tell me what day, what time, and where. I'll bring my friends with me, and we will do. We'll just do it old school, one-on-one. We'll get the old little plastic beach chair for home plate, and we'll see who can win. I got no problem with that.
We'll do it at Staten Island Yankee Stadium before a Staten Island Yankee game. We'll have a great crowd, and then after we'll go eat pizza at Lee's.
I like it. I'm in. We could skip the wiffle ball and just go right to the pizza if you want.
Yeah. We don't have to play wiffle ball.
But listen, I
Grady,
appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to tell you a quick story. You have two minutes?
Yes, go ahead.
1 minute?
Yeah.
So, 1999, I run for re-election. I have 2 elections in 9 months. I decide to go down to Florida to see a college roommate to let off some steam. And I go into this, my friend has a bad knee. We go into Southwest Medical Associates, and who's there doing rehab but Al Leiter. And Leiter comes out. I introduce myself. He stood there with me talking baseball for 35 minutes and showed me how great of a guy he was. And the fact that Al has been on the radio this morning to voice some support for you, I think speaks well about you, my friend. So I just wanted to wish you luck, tell you it's great to hear you back on the radio doing your thing, and you have an open invite to Staten Island anytime.
Well, I appreciate it and the support. And just let me know when. The Staten Island Yankees don't start till June, right? Or is it late May?
June.
All right, so we'll do it in June. It'll be nice and warm outside. We'll come out there. We'll invite everybody. And pregame, you and I will finally lay it down like we've been talking about for all these years. And it'll be a pleasure to be in one of my favorite boroughs.
Good. Be well, Craigie. Good luck, man.
Thanks, Jimmy. That's Jimmy Otto. And I will say this. As you heard from Al Leiter earlier this morning, if you took Al Leiter and James Otto, the Staten Island Borough president, and sat them down in a room, you would never speak.
Oh, they both can light it up, huh?
Specifically about baseball, they can you just sit back. You heard with Al Leiter, I didn't say 3 words.
No,
he just goes.
Now, you just said Staten Island's your favorite borough. Now, do you have...
I said one of my favorite boroughs.
I'm about to say, did you have the boroughs ranked?
Yes.
Really?
Of course you do.
What's number 1?
I have never ranked the boroughs before.
You never ranked the boroughs?
But I can do it right now off the top of my head.
Well, I know you're gonna have to say Manhattan.
Manhattan's going to be number 1.
Of course, because that's where you're born and raised.
Yep.
Brooklyn.
Number 2 is going to be the Bronx.
I knew that. Number 3 for you. You're going to go... Go ahead. You're going to go Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens.
I'm going to go Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island. And nothing against Staten Island. Every time I go out to Staten Island, I enjoy it, but I just don't get that many trips to Staten Island. I got a lot of friends from Staten Island, homies in Staten Island. I just don't get out to Staten Island that much.
Staten Island's an underappreciated borough.
I've only been there
Many people think Staten Island is a part of New Jersey. A lot of people think it's an island like Australia, like it's not really a part of New York.
Yeah.
It's not Bahamas, no.
It ain't the Bahamas.
No.
I can tell you that. There's a lot of PVC piping. There are above ground pools. But Staten Island is an underappreciated borough. And here's why. Because not a lot of people come from Staten Island. Typically, if you're a Brooklyn family and you're going to emigrate out of Brooklyn, it goes Brooklyn, Staten Island, Manalapan, New Jersey.
It's why Manalapan?
I don't know why. Yeah. That's what they do. And when I say
that one specific Manalapan.
Yes.
Okay.
They go, many Italian families especially, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Manalapan, New Jersey.
All right.
If you took a census of Manalapan, New Jersey, 80% of them people started in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And had a little...
Intern Kevin's from there, remember?
Who's this?
The intern? He's from Manalapan.
But I bet you his family's from Brooklyn.
Okay.
No one's from Manalapan, New Jersey either. Brooklyn.
Mr. Sussman, Greg Sussman, downstairs on the 4th floor.
He's from Manalapan, too.
He's from Manalapan.
No, he's not. His family is from Brooklyn. Brooklyn, Staten Island, Manalapan.
Now, I know Greggy's not a Brooklyn guy.
He's not.
Never
His
been to
grandparents are.
Okay, maybe
they grew
I don't
up
know
on
his grandparents.
L&B Pizza on 86. They did a little tour duty, they call it, in Staten Island. They went and got John's Roast Beef, which started, of course, in Brooklyn, and then they opened up a store at South Shore, and they killed the roast beef with the mozzarella and the balsamic vinegar on a nice soft roll. I know what's up in Staten Island, right? And then they went to Manalapan, and then they complained about the gravy in Manalapan. You shouldn't have left Brooklyn.
There you go.
Give me a team other than the Yankees that you think is and don't tell me Houston because that would be cheap. Give me a team other than Houston, other than the Yankees, that you think is legit. We'll see them in mid to late October.
I got to go with my National League team, the Washington Nationals. My Washington Nationals. I have a team in every conference. You feel what I'm saying? And my National League team is the Washington Nationals. I chose them because they had Bryce Harper. I have connections to the Washington, D.C. area, and I despise the New York Mets.
You don't have a team in every division.
I don't. How you was a Met fan for your whole life until like 5 years ago.
That's right.
And then you're going to judge my fandom?
That's right. That's right.
Doesn't work like that.
I only got one team. I may have switched what that team is.
Yeah.
But I don't have a team here and a team there.
I don't think fandom is defined by one specific rooting.
Of course it is. If you want to join the show, it's 844-843-6879. You can tell Corey yourself that you can't have a team here and a team there. You have to have one team. You might change who that team is, but you get one team. Only one team. You can't have. I have a National League team. I got an American League team. I got a Central team, a West. No. You get one team. Just decide who that team is and stick with that team. Or pick a different team. You have to be a one-team dude.
I don't think it's not written nowhere.
Carton and Friends.
Do you love...
.23, Carton and Friends, our very first show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are listening or watching, the number to join the show and be on it, 844-843-6879. We've already had Governor Christie on, Al Leiter, Staten Island Borough President Jimmy Otto. We got some Yankee fans and some Met fans already here hanging out.
Yep.
What is up? And I got to give a shout out. You know, in the time I've had off, I've made some new friends, not just Michelle here and Corey, but I've really jumped in, head first into Fortnite. I got my first solo win the other day. I've got some squad wins. There's a group of guys that are now my buddies that are referred to themselves as the Fortnite Boys.
Wow.
All right? The Fortnite Boys. There's 5 guys. They from Jersey to Long Island to Arizona, or all over the place. And they're my crew. I got a crew.
That's just a squad.
I got a squad now.
Squad up.
I got a
Do y'all
Fortnite
have like a
squad.
hand signal type thing that y'all do? Do y'all do something with your hands?
No, because they can't see each other, right? You can only hear.
Oh, yeah,
We can talk to each other.
All right, just wanna make
I
sure.
usually play gangster rap in the background.
Yeah.
Because
What
when
do they
we're
play?
when we're pillaging towns,
Yeah.
and when we're at Tilted Towers, you have to have the right mindset for
No
that.
doubt.
True.
And
No doubt.
if you're hanging out in snobby shores, we bust out a little Streisand.
Yeah.
So the music's got to be apropos to where we're pillaging.
Yeah.
And then we do what we do.
You gotta ride
so,
out.
A shout out to the Fortnite Boys and the guys that I've been playing Fortnite with. And it's funny, you reconnect with people through the. You ever play Fortnite?
No, I have
I
not.
know you're busy with Tim Tebow. I know. Have you played Fortnite?
I'm not a Fortnite guy. I don't
Are
have
you a gamer?
I'm not really a gamer. My son took the system. I gave it to him, so he be down there.
You could
He's
get
into
another
it.
system.
Is it one of
I
those
could,
shooting
but
ones?
It's a first-person shooter. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like PUBG, Players Unknown Battlegrounds.
Gotcha.
But I have a tougher time playing that. I like playing Fortnite better.
Mm-hmm.
Let me quickly say hi to Doug in Edison, New Jersey. Doug, you're on Carton and Friends. What's cooking, buddy?
What are you doing, my brother? I just called to wish you luck and love the show, and I wish you all the luck in the world, my brother.
This is, can I say where you're calling from or no?
You can, yes.
So this is a dear friend. This is Doug Wells, who is now with Ray Katina, Mercedes-Benz in Edison, New Jersey. He took that job because it's very close to both Zinberger and Harold's Deli.
Oh, I love Zinberger.
And Doug, if you've ever saw him, you can tell he likes to eat. He's also the best car dealer in America and reunited with the Ray Katina group. And he's buying me lunch at some point this week or next week. But good to have you here. And every car that they sell over there, they're going to make sure that if the car is set up for the iHeart app or the Fantasy Sports Radio app or TuneIn, so that the first thing you hear when you buy a car from Doug is us.
No doubt.
Carton and Friends.
Shout out to Doug.
So there you go. So we're gonna make sure that that's happening. We're gonna send people into the dealership to buy cars, but also to make sure that my show is on every car when they walk in.
Our program.
What happened?
My pleasure.
Our program. Doug's also a great fisherman, and we're gonna go fishing here in a couple weeks. But I love you, buddy, and thanks for checking in. Here's Steve in Bayport. Stevie's on Carton and Friends. What's going on with you today, Steve?
Hello.
Hello. La la la. What's up?
La la la. Craigie, did you see the Mike and the Mad Dog reunion special yesterday?
I saw some clips of it, and I read the article about it. It's funny how they write the articles. Of course, when the article's written about me, it's that I'm a disgraced former broadcaster, and the article about them is Fran Dog Reunite, RIP FAN. It's that same tool, Evan Grossman, who's been killing me ever since I resigned. But I read it, and I saw some of the highlights. What do you got on it? Nothing? You just want to know if I saw it? Yeah, Mad Dog has had a show on the MLB Network called High Heat.
Yes.
Were you there when he was there?
I was.
And how are you doing, everybody? Mike and the Mad Dog on the van. High Heat. Okay, dog, okay. Steve, okay, it's Mike, okay, the Mets, okay, Cespedes.
Mikey, where have you been, Mikey?
Michael, it makes absolutely no sense that Cespedes wants to play golf. Okay, golf.
Now, Craigie, there was once a famous pianist called Alexander Bach.
Yeah, that's one of the great pieces of audio. So, listen, I did see some of it, yes. I will not deny that. And you're going to ask me what I thought about it. I would say that do not think for a minute that Mike and or Chris have not put some inroads into WFAN's ears. Hey, a year from now, wouldn't you like to have us both back to save WFAN? So that would not shock me in the least bit.
If that was to take place. You called the dude, I think you said his name was Evan Grossman. You called him a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we have to see somebody on day one?
No, it's all good.
Oh, okay, all right.
But I appreciate the backup on that.
No.
There's some guys, listen, when I resigned, and everyone knows why and what's going on. I'm not going to talk about that aspect of what's going on, other than, you can either cover the story objectively and just write down facts, or you can kind of use your pulpit of the pen. By the way, I get it. I did it for 10 years on the radio of the Fan. It's a bully pulpit. For me, it's my voice on a microphone. For a guy like Evan Grossman or other writers who've taken their pot shots at me, it's with the pen. I will say this. I said it in an interview yesterday. I'm aware of every single thing everybody has said about me, good, bad, or indifferent. There will be a day, that day is clearly not today, when I will have the opportunity to address each one of those people and each one of those stories and how they were written. I'm not going to do that today. As you know, I'm in the middle of a very serious legal situation, one of which I hope and pray, my fingers are crossed, will end with my exoneration and end in my favor. Outside of that, out of respect to the legal process and to the judge in this case, I'm not going to talk about it on the show, other than what I've said everywhere I've ever been, and my comments have never wavered. They're not going to waver, and I do look forward to my day or days in court. That'll start October 29th as of right now, and like I said, I will do everything in my power to win that case, and hope that I do. Outside of that, from now till then, I'm going to do what I do best, and that's sit here with you folks and do a radio show and a broadcast. And that's all I can really do. But yes, I'm aware of what everyone has said. Being a public figure, I love when people go, I don't read anything. I have no idea what you said about me. No, I know. I know who said it. Yeah. I know where they said it, and I know what they said. And at some point, I'll deal with it. I'm not going to do that today until the whole thing is behind me, and that can't happen soon enough. Louie's in Brooklyn on Carton and Friends. Louie. What's cooking?
Yeah, shout out to Brooklyn.
Hello.
La. Craigie, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I want to talk about the Mets, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
How typical of the Mets, I mean, it's so sad, but how typical of the Mets to start the season on such a sad note.
Yeah, Rusty Staub passing away. Yeah, listen, it's a sad, obviously, way to start a season. I do think, though, there's something that I think is somewhat, in a weird way, poetic, that one of the great characters in Met history will have the most appropriate send-off, for lack of a better term, in that he will be honored for sure before the first pitch today. There'll be a moment of silence for Rusty. As I said an hour ago, if you never met Rusty Staub, you never got to meet one of the truly great guys from a charity standpoint and from a selfless standpoint of any of the ex-Mets. And I've been blessed to have met and got to know a lot of them. Anytime I ever saw Rusty Staub, he always had his suspenders on. He always had a button-down shirt on. And he was always willing and happy to shake someone's hand, to acknowledge what your event was, and just to say hi. And if you're a Met fan that goes back to 1973 and the World Series, you clearly remember this hit in Game 4.
It's it in the air, way back in left. It's sending Rudy back to the wall, and it is gone. A home run for Rusty Staub.
Listen, if you're a Met fan, you hope for more moments like that. But, Louie, I appreciate the call, kid. Here's Matt in Hicksville on Carton and Friends. Matty, good morning. How are you?
What is up?
What is up?
Greggy, I met you in the bagel shop this morning, and I promised I'd call in. So
I appreciate it.
Here I am. I'm man of my word.
This is a young man that helps keep us safe. I went into a bagel store on 35th this morning, right in the heart of New York City. I'd never been into that bagel store before. It's a very popular bagel store.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure.
Great bagels. I
wasn't sure exactly the process of where you order. So there were two uniformed police officers in the bagel store, and I'm kind of BSing with them. And I go in and I order a dozen bagels and some cream cheese and whitefish salad for you guys today.
Yeah, for the friends.
So now the police officers were there before me. So Matt goes, if you were going to cut me, you just should have asked. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I haven't ordered yet. I just keep the gun to the holster. But it was a pleasure meeting you and your partner. And thank you for doing what you guys do. And thank you for calling, too.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the Yankees.
Yeah, shoot.
What do you think about Greg Bird's injury? I think it's devastating. I think they'll be all right. But without Greg Bird, I mean,
yeah, listen,
top-heavy righty lineup.
It's for sure what you said is accurate. I think from an offensive standpoint, the Yankees can clearly absorb the loss of any one player. Greg Bird has also never shown you 3 straight months of Greg Bird. He's always hurt. Seems like one of those guys. And you just wonder, was it Tyler Austin, right? Who's taking his place?
Yep.
You wonder if Greg Bird's one of those guys that just is always going to be kind of snake bitten by injuries. Don't forget Nick. Is Nick Johnson starting today?
I am looking up at it right now.
No. Oh, you thought Nick Johnson was the other guy who was snake bitten by injuries. Tyler Austin's starting for them today. You wonder. We always talk about opportunity, right? Like opportunity to be a part of this show, to do something new. If you're Austin, you're getting a shot to be a starting baseball player for the New York Yankees. You ain't got to do nothing, right? There's no pressure on you whatsoever. Just make all the plays defensively, and if you can get a couple hits along the way, you stay in the lineup. I'm not going to tell you it's Wally, Pip, and Lou Gehrig, but there are certain guys now that are going to get chances on the New York Yankees where there's no pressure on you. You've got Stanton. You've got Gregorius. You've got Judge.
Sanchez.
You've got Sanchez. If you're anyone else other than maybe Brett Gardner's going to lead off for them, if you're anybody else, you don't have to do a damn thing.
Nah, easy
Field
pickings.
your position, bat 260, and you're good to go.
Play your role.
Right? Play your role.
There you go.
Give me a team.
What
And
team?
I don't want to hear about my National League team, my Essential team. Give me a team in the American League. You can't say Yankees. You can't say Houston. You can't say anyone else, but a team that I've not thought of yet that can give them a run.
They can give them a run. I don't know. I think the Mariners are an interesting team this year.
You
though.
think so?
Yeah.
Give me one reason why I should look at the Seattle Mariners.
I like D. Gordon in that lineup, on top of that lineup with John Segura and my man Robbie Cano, Nelly Cruz, Seager. They got some power in that offense, so they might be able to make a run. And out there in the Pacific Northwest.
Got it. We're going to get to an update with Michelle in a minute here. But first, Greg is in Yonkers on Carton and Friends.
Shout out
Greg,
to Yonkers.
What's cooking with you today, handsome?
Craig Carton is back. What is up, bro?
What is up, bro?
Very happy to have you back, and perfect. I wake up late. I used to miss you all the time. Now I can listen to you.
I like it. 9 to 1 every day. Now, how are you listening? What app?
That's like I'm listening on Periscope.
Periscope. All right. Very good. Through Twitter. I like it. Now, what do you got for me today?
Well, I just want to. Oh, almost died. That's okay. I just wanted to ask you what you thought about the Yankees this year. If you think that it's sort of like great on paper, but not going to actually come to any type of tangible championship.
No, listen. I think the New York Yankees are locked to play October baseball. My issue with the New York Yankees is twofold. One, teams that have this kind of expectations on them and how do they react to it. And number two, your starting pitching staff. If the Yankees can get through 6 innings with the lead, you got to figure that they win 95% of those games. The question is, how good will the starters be? It's the only question at all in the entire Yankee dugout, and that's starting pitching. Which, by the way, is a pretty big deal.
Listen,
a little bit of, yeah.
Listen, I got Jacob deGrom. He comes to where I work. He's one of my sponsors, and every time I see him, I say, "Jacob, come to the Yankees." He gets offended at that because I guess these pro athletes, they have a contract or something. But I always bust his chops. So.
You should. The only New York Met pitcher that I don't even think he hides it would love to be a New York Yankees, Matt Harvey.
Yeah.
Matt Harvey has never gotten along with the Mets. And the Mets don't get along with Matt Harvey.
He's too big. He's too big for my Jacob deGrom is a nice hometown guy. He came to us and he stays with us. But Harvey is too big for his britches. He doesn't want to come to Fort Lincoln to Queens.
Well, I would tell you,
Jacob deGrom is our boy.
I appreciate it, Greg. Thanks for the call, kid. I think if you go back 3 years, that is a fair thing to say about Matt Harvey. I think Matt Harvey has been humbled to say the least, over the last couple of years.
Certainly.
Matt Harvey's pitching for his baseball career right now. I know Matt well. I like Matt a lot. I understand why a lot of people don't. I would tell you that Matt Harvey, I said earlier today he's a 15-win pitcher this year. He's a lock for double digits for sure. He looked great this spring. He's now pitching for his baseball life. He never got along with the Met front office. The Met front office embarrassed him at a lot of private events. And Sandy Alderson never knew how to properly deal with Matt Harvey when he was the Dark Knight. I think Omar Minard being around helps that process a lot. But I think you're going to look at the comeback player of the year in the National League is going to be Matt Harvey.
That's going to be an interesting story to see if that can happen. Matt Harvey and Odell Beckham are on this path to become these great, legendary New York City athletes. Both of them right now are like, uh-oh, what's going on?
Let me tell you how you can check this show out. Number one, the phone number to join the show, 844-843-6879. That's 844-843-6879. We got plenty of phone lines for you, so don't be a stranger. Call in.
Load them up.
How do you enjoy the show? Like the last caller, we're on Periscope. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We are also on damn near every audio app you can find, whether that's TuneIn, whether that's the iHeartRadio app. You could just look us up by my name or by Fantasy Sports Radio Network. Tons of ways to enjoy the show, live and on demand. Let's hear from you now. 844-843-6879. It's Carton and Friends. Welcome back. It's Carton and Friends. This is day one. And I'm pleased to have on the hotline a nice surprise, an old friend, former New York Yankee, not once but twice, World Series champion. I believe he beat the Braves in both World Series. Has another one of those classic New York Yankee home runs as well.
Yep, memory from my youth.
There you go. It's
youth with an F.
Jimmy Leiter. It's Jimmy, Carton and Friends. Thanks for jumping in, buddy. How you been?
What's happening, Craig? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for calling. I didn't know you were going to call today, but I appreciate it.
Well, you know what? I got a message. I live with Dean Spinato, my buddy here in Hicksville. And Lou is one of his buddies, and he called and told me that I didn't even know that you were coming back on the air today, and I just wanted to say, you know what? I support you, man. I've always been there for you, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
I appreciate it. Jim and I became friends about 5 years ago. I'd say good friends through a charity softball,
Invited. I'll be all cards on the table. Jimmy had gone through some stuff everyone knows about, and I said, listen, the Jim I know is a good man, and I invited Jimmy to play in a charity softball game against a lot of people's wishes. And I said, if you're a friend, you're a friend. And Jimmy had become a friend the year before, and Jimmy came out and never missed a charity softball game. And we've talked a lot over the last year or so. Wrote a great book, by the way, if you're looking for a good, fast read. And it's nice to have you as a friend, and I appreciate you calling in. What are you doing for opening day today? Any big plans?
No, actually, I'm just going to watch the game on TV. Tomorrow night, I got a charity event in Morristown, New Jersey, to raise money for the Welcome Home Warriors campaign that I'm working on to stop the suicides and raise money for that. And then I'll be here for opening day on Monday when the Yankees open up.
I was gonna ask, are you gonna be at the stadium on Monday or no?
Yep, I'll be there Monday and Wednesday. So yep, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great year for the Yankees, and it looks like the Mets couple of years ago. It looks good on paper. So we'll just see if they can stay injury free, whether or not we can have a great year this year.
Yeah, you experienced that in '96. Obviously, '95 was the start of everything. But as young as the team was in '96, there's probably some comparisons that you can relate to as a Yankee player, right?
Well, I think it's kind of eerie. Aaron Boone steps into where Joe Torre basically came in with a team that's ready to win, and it's one of those things that you take over as manager and you just tell the guy, hey, listen, dude, just go out there and just don't screw this thing up because we got a hell of a team and we got a good chance to win.
So everyone, when they think of Jim Leiter, they think, of course, of Mark Wohlers in Game 4 of the '96 World Series. But what people forget, that your home run was not like a ninth-inning win-the-game home run. You guys were trailing big, if I remember, in that game, and were facing being down 3-1 in the series. So your home run tied the game. It didn't win the game, right?
Yep, exactly. That's one of the people I think I tell people all the time. They're like, you must have been in heaven, running on air when you hit that home run. I said, no, the only thing I could think of is if this only tied the game, and I hit a home run in '95, which was a walk-off against Seattle, and we ended up losing the series, that home run became a footnote. I knew that if we didn't win that game and win that series, that it would have been the same thing. And fortunately, we were able to win the game, and then we were also able to win that series.
Right, because you win the game later on to tie the series at 2. And for those of you that never heard it before, here's Jimmy's at bat to tie the game at 6 in Game 4.
2-2 pitch. Hit in the air. Deep left field. Playing back. Andrew Jones at the wall. Looking. Goodbye. Home run. Tie game. Jimmy Leiter has tied this game up on a 3-run homer.
Now, what were you looking for on the 2-2 pitch?
I couldn't lie to you and tell you that I was looking slider. I was looking fastball all the way, and I just got lucky and was able that he hung it, and I was able to stay back and hit it out. So,
now, I always wondered, when you connect on the ball in that spot, do you know immediately that ball's out of here? I know, and Andrew Jones at the time was Andrew Jones playing his ass off. Did you know you hit it hard enough to hit it out?
Yeah, I felt like I got it good enough, and especially being in Atlanta where during batting practice the ball was carrying pretty well. And I just it was a matter of, until I saw the replay, I didn't realize how close Andrew Jones got to catching that thing, but I thought it was out the whole time.
And I never asked you this question. Obviously, '96 is the great year, the World Series and all that stuff. After that season, the Yankees traded you, and they traded you for basically 2 no-name guys, players to be named later. Were you crushed by that, or from a business standpoint, were all cards on the table? You knew that was going to go down like that?
No, that was actually a favor from Mr. Steinbrenner to me, because I asked him that I wanted to play every day, and he went to Joe Torre and asked him in '97, was Jimmy going to play every day? And Joe said no, that they were bringing in Posada and they were re-signing Girardi, and that I wasn't going to play every day. And Mr. Steinbrenner told my agents, if you can find a place that he can play every day, I'll make a trade. And sure enough, the Angels stepped up with a 3-year deal and an opportunity for me to go there and be the everyday catcher. So, and that was a great story with Mr. Steinbrenner, how he was. I went in to say goodbye to him when I was working out at the complex in Tampa to say thank you for everything. And he said, what are you doing packing your bags? He goes, you can continue to work out here. You will always be a Yankee.
Wow.
And that was just the class act that he was. And, we miss that man dearly.
Yeah, I've always said, and I'd never met George Steinbrenner, so I have no personal connection to him. He has one of the great quotes that listen, in our lives, you meet a lot of people, you hear a lot of things, and not a lot of those quotes stay with you. There's one quote that's attributed to George Steinbrenner, and he didn't say it to me, but it's quoted by him, which has always had a significant place for me. George Steinbrenner once said that if you do another person a favor and 3 people know about it, you did it for the wrong reason. And when he right?
Yep, that is you're so right. I mean, that's the thing that he used to do things for people and say, "Listen, I'll give you money for the next 5 years, but if one person knows about it, I'll cut it off." He did not want that, but he did so much. And when he passed away, all these people finally came forward to tell the stories, and people got a whole different side of George Steinbrenner.
Yep. And I know, listen, he may have been a pain in the ass and a tough guy to do business with, and there's a lot of people that dislike him, but there are so many of those stories. I mean, dozens and dozens of stories. Random people that you have no connection to, who finally came out and said, "Listen, I wouldn't be alive today. I wouldn't be this. I wouldn't be that today without the generosity of George Steinbrenner." And I'll say this, having been very involved with NYPD charities, the New York Yankees started one of the great charities in America, in which if an officer unfortunately loses his or her life in the line of duty, the New York Yankees make sure that the kids of that officer have money to go to college. And they write a check.
It's a Silver Shield thing, isn't it?
Yep, it's a Silver Shield Foundation.
Yep.
And they don't get almost any attention for it, but every slain officer's kids has never had to worry about the cost of going to college, and that's through George Steinbrenner and no one else. So, he's maybe misunderstood. I'm sure he had his bad moments as well. Well documented, but if 3 people know about it,
put it this way. Yeah, Carton. Put it this way. It would have been tough to be a front office guy working for him. I understand that because he was. But as far as somebody that needed help or somebody, once you became a New York Yankee and you were a Yankee, he was loyal to the day you left. He would fire somebody and the next day call him up and say, "Okay, if you can't find work in a week and and your family's hurting, just call me back and I'll find something for you to do in the organization that you can continue to support your family." I mean, that's just the kind of guy he was.
Now, when you used to do that bat flippy thing like Mickey Rivers, was that a crutch, or was that an ode to Mickey, or did that just become something like a lot of baseball players have their routine? Did it become something where you couldn't help yourself and you had to keep doing it, or was it something else?
It was one of those old baseball superstitions. I did it in junior college twice, and I hit a home run each time. And from that point on, I did it every single time. So it became a superstition more than anything.
Well, listen, I appreciate you calling in. It's a nice surprise. And I think it's great you're doing this charity event tomorrow. And we'll stay in touch, and I hope to see you soon, bud.
All right, brother. I love you, man, and I'm wishing you nothing but the best of luck.
Back at you. There's one of the great Yankees, Jimmy Leirich,
Shout out to Jimmy Leirich.
Yes.
Momentum changing home run in 96.
Tied it at 6. Yep. They wound up winning that game. They tied the series at 2, and then they won 4-2. They didn't lose another game.
That led to the sweep.
But if they were down 3-1, a lot of people listen. They were still.
It might have been over at that point, but that changed the momentum of that series.
100% right, and they were down 6-0 in that game too. Frank is in New York on Carton and Friends. Frank, good morning. How you doing, Spank?
Good morning, Carton. Thank you so much. When I heard about the story about you, I was upset, when you left Boom and Carton show. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, how you been, Carton?
I'm doing okay. I appreciate it. Listen, we had a great thing for 10 years. It would have been great for that show to continue. It didn't, obviously. We all know the reasons why. But I'm back. I'm doing this show, and it's really, there's only 1 hour where we're both on at the same time. Hopefully you'll choose to listen to us starting at 9 o'clock in the morning and throughout the rest of the day. But I appreciate your support and your calling in. Thank you. And, of course, like Frank will do and all of you should do, tell your friends. We're back. Give me a couple stories, Michelle.
Let's do it.
Before I get to the top of the hour.
Back to your little Fortnite squad.
Yes.
So Ben Simmons and Karl Anthony Towns apparently have one themselves.
Is that right? Now, they playing Fortnite or are they playing PUBG?
They were playing Players Unknown Battlegrounds.
PUBG. That's the hip way to say. Just say, if you start saying
PUBG?
Players Unknown, you're not cool.
Nobody knows
so
what that is. You
PUBG.
say PUBG, and they know exactly what you're talking about.
All right. So they were playing PUBG. Towns wanted to log off. Simmons wasn't having it. He wanted one more round. So
Which
he asked,
is every player says that because it's a game because you can restart right
come
quick.
on, man, one more round. One more round.
You always say, like, if you die early, one more game.
One more, that's it.
I've had one more game.
Run it back.
Run it back.
3 hours later, it's
still running
one
it back.
more game. So Simmons is playing online with Towns.
Okay.
And Towns wants to roll. Go ahead.
He wants to roll off. So we said, who are you guys playing tomorrow? He said the Hawks. And he goes, oh, man, you got plenty of time.
Played the Hawks just now.
So you're telling me that Ben Simmons, so Towns wants to go to bed.
Yes.
And he's got a
He's like, I
ball
gotta
game
sleep, I got a game
against the Atlanta
tomorrow.
Hawks the next day. And Simmons goes, well, wait a minute.
Don't worry, they stink.
You're playing Atlanta, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How did he play against
Okay.
Atlanta?
So then I guess he should make a routine of this because the next night he set a single game franchise record. He had 58 points.
How about that?
He dropped a 50 burger on him after
Yeah.
staying up to 4 o'clock. playing
He should
PUBG.
play PUBG every night.
Every night.
Or play the Hawks every night.
Exactly.
One or the
Atlanta,
other.
a disrespected sports town, Craigie.
A disrespected. Atlanta's a terrible sports town. It really is.
They really had bad luck.
Bad luck. It's a bad sports town. The fan base blows. The teams
That the Falcons
average.
had that thing last year.
Yeah, but don't forget, when the Atlanta Braves were the best team in the National League
They won it once.
for a decade, right?
Yeah.
For a decade, they didn't sell out playoff games.
No, they didn't. You would come up, you would see that joint on TV, and there'd be plenty of empty seats. Nobody really cared about the Braves.
Right now, it's a big college sports town.
Oh, no doubt
But
about
if
that.
the Atlanta Braves, and you're talking about some like they have at least 5 Hall of Famers that went through that 10-year run
Mm-hmm.
where they won every National League East division, but nobody went. I remember I was in Atlanta, and I went to a strip club because I wanted to see what the Knicks players were doing when they were on the road.
Well, we don't see
Just-
the
That's why.
I saw one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life at was it the Gold Club? Maybe
It's probably
or
the
maybe
Gold
the
Room.
Playboy something.
I think it's
There's
called a goal room.
There was something in place in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And the women were like, a lot of times if you go to an adult entertainment facility, the prototypical gal from the neck to the toes is like a Barbie doll.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times the helmet's banged up. And I'm not sure if that's the lifestyle of being a dancer.
The helmet.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
I like it.
And I can't get into the entire story other than to tell you, the girl that was doing the act on the main stage, Carol, to the main stage, Candy, to the main stage, Candy on the main stage,
Diamond
to the main stage, to the gentlemen in the champagne room, it's Diamond and Candy. I went to school with a girl named Candy Funky.
Yikes.
That's just a little aside. So the girl's up on stage, and she's beautiful. And she says to the crowd of men, Budweiser used to make what they call splits. I don't know if you have them at the bar. They're like a 6-ounce bottle. Old Vienna was the first one that did it. They called OV splits.
I think I know where this is going.
So these are little, like mini bottles. Not like airplane size, bigger than that, but not full size. They're like half size.
Okay.
And she says to the crowd of men, how much to hide this bottle?
Where'd she go hide it at?
I think I got an idea.
Only 1 or 2 places. So she goes, how much to hide the bottle? And you have to imagine everyone drinking it.
Yeah.
I mean, dudes are throwing like wallets.
Make it
up there.
rain. Make
I'm
it
not
rain.
lying. There's got to be $20,000 in cash.
There you go.
Up on that stage.
A bag.
She takes out a normal round bar stool.
Yeah.
She goes, this is a very delicate trick.
Uh-huh.
You have to allow me to concentrate. It's a bottle. It's smaller than this can.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be quiet. Now,
She needed
could you
silence.
imagine 300 drunk guys who just threw $20,000 in cash up on the stage are now church mouse quiet? It's like a library. Okay? I'm among them. I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
I got to see this.
Yeah.
And this is before, camera phones and that
Yeah.
crap. So there's no documentation. You have to take my word.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to use camera phones in strip clubs.
Some of
anyway.
them you can.
You do whatever you want until you get caught.
Well.
So, you guys got me? Can you pan up or pan down? Do you want me to sit down again? I'll sit down. So, all right, so here's the deal. She stands up. Well, she's already standing.
Okay.
She takes the bar stool and she puts it in front of her, okay? She now says, I need total silence. I need to concentrate. Please do not disrupt the method of what I'm doing. She straddles the bar stool.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the anticipation is You're like, yeah. Like, come on, baby. Come on.
Get it.
You could, where is it at? You could do it. She's got a whole can of like Vaseline, so you know what's going on.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I get it.
You don't want
She
it to chafe.
straddles the stool. And then one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Adult life.
What?
She does not do it. She didn't do it.
Wow.
She took one out.
Oh, it was one already in there. It was one already living in there.
The place goes berserk.
Another 20,000.
And it is the single greatest thing I've ever seen in my life at one of
I love it. She had one stashed in there already.
Oh my
we all
gosh.
bought in here. She's going to do this crazy thing. Boom. She takes one out.
Yeah, that's just.
And then for the kicker, cracks it open and drinks
There
it.
you go. That's my kind of girl right there. That's my kind of girl right
Texas, Arizona, tomorrow night.
there. There you go.
Hopefully. I wish something like that would happen. That would be hysterical.
Opening day baseball, baby. Popcorn, peanuts, Cracker Jacks. And there's a song that we've yet to play today. A song that the three of us will sing together. If you don't know the lyrics, you better look them up. This will be your first test as one of the friends. If you want to join the show, please do. 844-843-6879. It's Carton and Friends. It's weekdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. What's that number again? Corey, tell them the number.
844-843-6879.
Fantasy Factor, the perfect daily fantasy site for the casual recreational player. Flatter prize pool, smaller field, single entry contest. Go to fantasyfactor.com. This year, Fantasy Factor is running a $100,000 home run derby. fantasyfactor.com. Coming up, the one song all baseball fans got to sing.
Does your You need us, the Fantasy Sports Radio Network, the only free 24/7 Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
Fantasy Sports Radio Network. News update.
Opening day baseball. Thursday's season opener between the Pirates and Tigers has been postponed due to rainy conditions in Detroit. This follows the Cincinnati-Washington game already being postponed. In the NFL, Monday morning quarterbacks Albert Breer reports the Texans and contract year outside linebacker Jadeveon Clowney are making progress on a, quote, mega extension. In the NBA, Lakers guard Lonzo Ball will have a precautionary MRI on Thursday. Ball expects to be fine. He has a bruised left knee. Danilo Gallinari of the Clippers is targeting a return on Friday versus the Blazers. And Celtics guard Marcus Smart is making good progress and said he hopes to return in time for the second round of the playoffs. I'm Dan Strafford, and this has been your Fantasy Sports Radio Network News Update.
Stay tuned to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network for more updates at the top of every hour.
Calling all drivers. Want a career that will take you places? Then Coach USA and Megabus is the place for you. Coach USA and Megabus, leaders in the local and intercity bus transportation industry, are looking for career-minded, conscientious drivers with a valid CDL Class A or B license with passenger endorsement. They offer paid training, competitive salary, and many benefits. Apply now and start driving to a better future. Visit CoachUSA.jobs. That's CoachUSA.jobs.
Are you new to daily fantasy? Are you a veteran? Either way, you can better your chances of winning money, and lots of it, by going to dailyroto.com. Multiple people have become millionaires thanks to the guys at Daily Roto. Why not take advice from the experts? You can become a millionaire too. Just go to dailyroto.com to rock daily fantasy sports.
Scout Fantasy Sports.
Where do you think you stack up with the rest of the league? You think this is a competitive team that can win the league?
I haven't compared it to the rest of the teams in the league. I think there's 13 other teams that could play, and then there's you.
Oh, you are going to regret the day you made that statement. I know you record everything, and I know you're selective in the sound bites you keep, but I want you to keep that one because come September, hopefully this discussion will make you look bad.
Weekdays on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network and on popular podcast providers.
Be Be sure to check out BSO Live with me, Robert Littal, on all of your popular podcasting sites, as well as blacksportsonline.com. We're going to be talking about the things that nobody else is talking about. Well, everybody's talking about, but not like me. Sports, entertainment, culture, video games, comic books. We have it all. So be sure to check out BSO Live on all of the podcasting sites at blacksportsonline.com.
You're listening to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
I don't mess around.
And that, my friends, is called Carton and Friends.
Oh, hello, friends. You're here early.
Everybody should worry and worry a lot.
Friends, if I may have your attention.
The blind squirrel can't find the nut. He's back. That's me, apparently. It's Carton and Friends. Those of you that have checked us out here for our very first show, thank you very much. I know yesterday it got a lot of attention, so let me just regroup and reset what's going on here. We're back. We're doing a radio show, a broadcast, whatever you want to call it. We have some great partners already in the mix, and there's many more coming over the course of, I would say, the next couple of weeks, up to 30 days, where this show is going to be heard internationally, beyond just the fact that you can go online and hear it already. There's going to be some great platforms, some of them new to you, some of them old school, like terrestrial radio stations, that will be covering and airing the show as well. I have Michelle Serpico here. Michelle's background is an MMA TV host. She's on the Tony Siragusa podcast that's known as Pod Cave. Tony loves that man cave thing. He's always caving. He's in a cave. He likes being in caves. Tony's going to join us in the next couple weeks for sure. Yes. So Michelle has been with MLB Network and, of course, with Tony. And in section 203 there across the way is Corey. Corey's a New Yorker, a lifelong Yankee fan, but he also likes to root for other teams in every sport just to couch his bets.
Divisions. It depends on conferences, and that's really the thing about it is, see, when you root for the Washington Nationals is my National League team. Yeah. That came to tease Met fans. You feel what I'm saying? So every time I had a one up on Met. Yeah, exactly.
That's why your son abandoned you as a sports fan.
This is probably true.
And when I meet the young man, I'm going to give him a big hug. And tell him I got his back now. Uncle Craig has his back. Now, in a minute, we are going to all sing the song that every fan, no matter who you root for, should sing on opening day. It may be the only day you sing it. Like if you're from South Jersey, you go to Rita's Water Ice on March 21st. Why? Because they give out free water ice, right? So today, opening day, there's one song that every fan has to sing. And I'll give you a hint. It is not "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
No.
That's a backup song. But first, let me go to Carly in Jersey on Carton and Friends. Carly, good morning. How you doing, Spank?
Oh, hey, Craig.
How you doing, doll?
Good.
Great.
I'm a huge Yankee fan.
Yeah? Who's your favorite Yankee of all time?
Aaron Judge.
Stop the noise. You sound like you're over 35 years old. Aaron Judge cannot be your favorite Yankee of all time.
Oh, fine.
Babe Ruth.
Young Carlos Stanton.
Gee, and Carlos Stanton. He hadn't even played yet. Now, Carly, how old a gal are you?
I'm 26.
You're 26?
I think she's going based off of looks, aren't you?
Huh. You're 26. Is that right?
Yes, I am 26.
When were you born?
October 18th, 1991.
I like that. You got to send some pictures in.
Yeah.
Well, listen. You know this. Every morning into the afternoon on this show, unlike any other show that you can possibly listen to anywhere in the world, because don't forget, we're global now, right? You know this.
Yeah.
You've now got friends that understand your way of thinking. So there's no other show between 9 and 1 that you're allowed to listen to. You can only now check out Carton and Friends, whether that's via iHeart or TuneIn or the Fantasy Sports Radio app or Twitter or Periscope, however you get. Or, by the way, turn on your Samsung or LG TV,
take that Twitch.tv widget inside every TV or YouTube, and you can just watch the show on your television. We got you covered every different way, baby.
Sure. Thanks.
You got it, Doll. You don't be a stranger, okay? Okay, good. Here's Joe in Connecticut on Carton and Friends. Joe, what's cooking, bud?
You are, brother.
My man,
Welcome
Pots and
back.
Pans. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, brother. You know, I'm so happy you're back. I haven't known what to do with myself in the mornings. You know, radio has just gone down the tubes, Craig. Thank God you are back.
I appreciate
I've been a long-time listener, 10-plus years. Radio is so disgusting now.
Yeah, I was
so happy for you, man.
I appreciate it. And listen, the world has changed. You don't need a radio now to listen to a radio type show. We're in your car. We're in your home. We're on your phone. Wherever you are, know this. I'm in your back pocket.
There you go. You got access to the friends, to the
Got it?
friggities.
And I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you so much. Here's a guy in line 4 right now who is a part of the Fortnite crew. This is my man Bamtino in Connecticut. Bamtino, what's good?
Maggie, what's going on, bro?
Well, now that we're all winners at Fortnite, it's okay for me to have you on the show.
Oh, thanks. It's so long, man. You know?
We played about 37 rounds without winning.
Wow.
The guy, every time I reconnected with the BAM and the guys, they would tell me, hey, we just won another one. We just won another one. They made me feel like I was the weak link in the crew. And then we took down back-to-back W's, and now we're feeling good about ourselves.
Definitely going the over on that 37.
It might have been 67. It's certainly possible. And, of course, a big Yankee fan. Now, what are you doing for the Yankee game today? What are the plans 4 hours from now?
I'm actually getting out of work early. Gonna head to the bar with my buddy Eric, and you know.
I like it. So here's the deal. After the Yankees win the opener against Toronto, why don't we figure about an 8:30, 9 o'clock Fortnite run? I like it. All right, thanks, buddy. Appreciate the call.
The evening is planned.
That's one of the guys. That's one of the guys. He's on the
That's one
team.
of the homies.
He's on the Fortnite squad.
Yeah.
I wish you guys played Fortnite because then it'd be more fun for us to have.
I might get into it at some point.
Well, no, you're not gonna get into it. You're not gonna do it either.
I might. You know what I'm saying? You never know. It's been a while.
Not really a gamer.
Do you play Madden?
I've played Madden many years.
So you're not a video game guy.
Not as much no more.
No?
I'm just in my bag the past couple of years trying to make it.
Yeah?
Trying to get here.
Well, now you're here.
There you go. So now I can go back to doing the things I used to
Now
enjoy.
you have some free time to enjoy life.
Yes, exactly.
And, of course, you still bartend.
Yes, on the
Do you think that's going to be different for you now?
Probably. Hopefully not much longer, so it probably will be different too.
Well, no, you make good money on the weekends,
no, I
right?
do, yeah.
Is the bar cool with you doing this, or are they like...
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It should be good for them, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's Texas, Arizona, and Hoboken.
They're going to be like, yo, can you bring Craig and
Yes.
Corey in? That's what they're going to ask you next.
They've already asked, I'm
Look at
sure.
that.
When
have.
When are your friends coming in?
Yeah.
Yeah, when are you guys coming?
I'm in Jersey City today. I'm going to meet my buddy Lou Meyer, the owner of Zinburger.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I
one
gotta-
in Newport Mall.
Where is that in Jersey City?
Yeah, I think that's the only one.
Yeah,
there.
so we're going over to JC today to check out the burger place. I could always just swing around. Are you in the bar today?
No.
Oh, so there you go.
I have to be here. I got to get up 4:30 in the morning during the week, so no.
So
no,
you're now
no weekdays.
now you're bartending only on the weekends.
Only on the weekends, yes.
Are you guys ready to sing a song?
Yes, I'm ready.
I got to pull up the lyrics because I don't really be knowing these crazy songs.
Well, and I know you're a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
But this is, if you are a baseball fan, there are two songs that every baseball fan should know by rote memory. And by the way, you will be a quiz.
Mm-hmm.
Not tomorrow, but on Monday, when the Yankees open up at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
There will be a quiz next week. It's going to be a spot quiz.
Okay, I'm cool
At
with that.
some point, I'm going to say to either one of you or both of you, I need the curly shuffle.
Okay.
And on the spot,
Bam.
you're going to have to give me the curly shuffle.
Drop it.
Now, are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
ready.
If you are a diehard Met fan, if you're Governor Chris Christie and you're driving out to Citi Field right now, if you're Jerry Seinfeld and you're driving out right now
Chris
to
Rock.
Citi Field, if you're Chris Rock, who only goes to games when wealthier people and he invites him so that he can look like he's doing something in the box watching the game with Jerry Seinfeld, right? This is for you. This is an ode to the New York Mets. My friends here are going to sing it. I'm going to sit back and enjoy it and listen to you guys perform the greatest baseball song of all time. Are you
All right,
ready?
Here we go. You ready? Yeah. What are we doing?
We're singing along.
All right. Let me know when it starts.
Here we go.
On the
Here we go.
IFB.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Well,
when me and my friends go on to town, we can't sit still and we can't sit down. We don't like to fight and we don't like to scuffle.
Hold on.
But we doing the curly shuffle.
Hey Mo! Hey Mo!
Well, yuck, yuck, yuck.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
La, 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 la. Woo, 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 woo. Up and dance and do the curly shuffle.
Don't be bad so loud.
Well, me and my friends love Curly and Mo. We love the Curly Brothership and background show. It's such a delight to boogie and hustle, dancing all night, doing the curly shuffle.
Hey Mo! Hey Mo! I need Michelle to be much louder. Go ahead.
Everybody do like, let's go, Michelle. Hey Mo. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Dance, we get up and we dance, we do the curly shuffle.
You're being bashful. Michelle, this is on you now. This is the dance part.
This is the dance part. You dance a little better than that.
When they come back in, Michelle, this is all you. You got it? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I need this to be aggressive. I need to be loud. I need you to perform like a performer will. Michelle solo. Here we go. You're not even dancing.
It's part of the being a friend is dancing. There you go. You just got a little bit like this. That's it. It's real simple. You see what I'm saying?
This is all you.
Love to see comedy classics on late night TV. Those knuckleheads love to get in a scuffle. They push and they shove, doing the curly shuffle.
You're whispering.
Yeah, I don't like that.
We need it louder. Hold on. Listen. You're not doing. You're bastardizing one of the great baseball songs of all time.
Okay, I'll do it better.
You have to do it better.
Step my game up.
Let's go. From the top. From the top.
Oh, we gotta go from the top.
From the top.
At the beginning?
From the beginning.
Okay.
Only Michelle first. Loud and in charge.
Proud, Michelle. Let's go.
When me and my friends go out in the town, we can't sit still, we can't sit down. We don't like to fight and we don't like to scuffle, but we dance all night doing the curly shuffle.
Hey Mo! Hey Mo! Hey Mo! Hey Mo!
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Yuck, 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 yuck. We get up and dance and do the curly shuffle.
All right.
Opening day. Yeah. That wasn't like a Met national anthem you just had me
It
singing.
was. That was back when the New York Mets were going to the World Series in '86.
How long ago was that?
That's 32 years ago now.
A long time ago. I remember that. I was a little fella.
That became a bit of our anthem.
Yeah.
It was the curly shuffle. They played it at every game.
Okay.
I had the Mets bring it back about 7 years ago.
Okay.
And when they made a little run, you remember a little postseason run, and then they got rid of that. I always think that every opening day should feature the curly shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like your rendition of it.
To be honest with
I
you.
have a
I'm
bad
not gonna
voice.
lie to
I didn't
you.
want to break these
Well,
microphones.
we gotta be
break
friends.
Shatter the glass
Be friends.
everywhere.
We gotta keep it 100 with each other. And I kind of felt that time, Michelle, you were kind of
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm a
I
little
didn't
bit
like it.
a little bit above
And
the
I don't
friendship.
frankly, I don't think the fans liked it either. Here's Keith in Rockland County.
Uh-oh.
Keith, you're on Carton and Friends. How you doing, buddy?
What is up?
Tell
your friends.
Tell your friends. Michelle's afraid to sing. We learned something valuable today.
What's up with that?
I'm not afraid to.
Michelle,
I just
you
have a
gotta step
really.
it up.
I know, but I don't think you want to hear my voice.
No, we do. You got to step it up, man. Like me and Corey can't sing either.
We're friends. We're all
True,
friends. Step it up.
true.
You got to embarrass yourself a little bit. You're with him. You're with this maniac.
That's
Listen,
exactly right.
True.
Yeah. Listen, we miss you, man. I'm glad you're back on the air. My kids grew up with you. I would put you on TV, get the kids ready, jump in the car. I would turn the radio on, re-listen to you till I drop the kids off at school.
Love it.
They are going to be ecstatic that you're back.
Well, I appreciate it. As we say, tell your friends. Let everyone know this is only day one. It's only going to get bigger and better. But you can listen to the show in the car, on the radio, on your phone, wherever you are. Like I said, we're in your back pocket with you. Now, we will not tolerate Michelle's performance much longer.
We got to figure something out.
All right. Well, Michelle's on a day-to-day contract.
I got to step my game up.
Listen, today's day one.
Yes.
There's no guarantee of day two.
Yes.
All right. If you have to better come to the table prepared to perform, and that means if someone says curly shuffle, I don't care if you got to close your eyes.
All right.
You can put a bag over your head.
Okay.
Whatever you got to do to feel comfortable. Corey did it. And he's a Yankee fan.
This is the Yankees. This is a Met national anthem, and I don't really do Mets like that.
Here's Charlie in Long Island on Carton and
What
Friends.
up, Chuck?
Charlie, what's cooking, buddy?
Hello.
Hello. What's up with you?
What's up? What's up, Craigie? What's going on? How's the new gig?
Listen, it's a great day for me selfishly, and to be with Michelle and Corey, to have the show back on the air, to have an audience again, to have a place to be every day again. So I'm grateful for it, and I'm very happy that we're being given the opportunity to entertain you people again.
Great to hear, man. I'm so happy to hear your voice, man. I've been watching your Twitch feeds on Fortnite and PUBG. Good going over there. Let's play sometime.
Yeah, listen, my screen name is Craig Carton Live. I am not playing PUBG at all. Just my son plays sometimes under my name, and he's really good at it. But I'm a Fortnite player exclusively right now. I'll be on it again tonight for sure, late night. And I hope to see you online, and I appreciate you checking the show out. If you want to call the show, 844-843-6879. Corey, what's that number again?
844-843-6879. Telephone number to get involved with the program.
That's exactly right. Now, one game has already been postponed today due to weather.
I think we might have two postponements.
Is there a second game now?
I think it might be two postponements right now. Let me check over
That's
that
what.
for
Listen,
you.
when you're playing games at the end of March, that's going to happen. If they only get two postponed, that's probably a good thing. First time in 50 years, every
Pirates
single
and
team.
Tigers postponed, Reds and Nationals postponed.
Got
So
it.
we got two postponements.
Mets are going to play. Listen, here in New York, it's mid-50s, so the expectation, of course. And I don't think it's going to rain much more than it was raining this morning.
No.
So the Mets will get their game in. Yankees are up in Toronto, of course. And we're right here at Studio 34. Make sure you let everybody know. There's now something for you to listen to again. If for the last 6 months you've said, there's nothing good to listen to, there's nothing entertaining left on the radio, now you've got something. Carton and Friends. Thank you for joining us. 844-843-6879. Coming up, a little something about the Mets you didn't know, and you're going to like it.
Steiner Sports.
For some reason, this reminds me of Fergie's national anthem at the NBA All-Star Game.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I love love Fergie.
Which I like Fergie a lot too.
I'm a huge Fergie fan.
Yeah. What's your maybe you'll sing Fergie.
Fergalicious.
Huh?
Fergalicious. That's my favorite. I knew you were gonna ask me my favorite song.
Fergalicious. What is with Ferg?
It's like
GLAMROUS.
When I heard Fergalicious, I thought somebody tasted Fergie.
Well, she's single now, right? Didn't Josh Jamel
I think so. Yeah.
drop it
they're
like it
split.
was hot?
Yeah.
He's a good-looking dude too.
Yeah.
He's another guy.
Fergalicious right here.
It's Fergalicious. Are you Fergalicious?
I'm cool with her. I don't got no beef with Fergie. Here's the thing, though. What she tried to do at the NBA All-Star game
was fresh.
She tried to, because of that Staples Center, right? So you remember Marvin Gaye and all those great national anthems he sung at Staples Center?
Marvin Gaye's national anthem was not appreciated at the time he did it either. And if you go back, have you heard the Marvin Gaye national anthem recently?
He killed it. Marvin Gaye bodied it.
He didn't, though.
He did.
And I know everyone looks back because it's Marvin Gaye, and no one wants to be critical of Marvin Gaye and his national anthem.
Marvin Gaye bodied the national. If my man Chris Cannon was to pull that national anthem up right now, that is one of the best national anthems outside of the Whitney Houston joint.
Listen to this for a second. This was 1983. So proud of me. Listen, I'm a Marvin Gaye fan like anybody else, and he changed the way the anthem is done. I think that was at an NBA All-Star game as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was I thought they brought Marvin Gaye out for like the finals and all of that.
I think it was the '83 NBA All-Star game.
Okay.
I'm almost positive about it. The guys tell me if I'm wrong. I know it was '83. It was the NBA All-Star game. Yeah. So when he did that,
they didn't like it.
No, well, no one ever heard it like that.
Yeah,
at a public event like that. So the mainstream public wasn't like, "Oh, it was dope."
Yeah, it was like.
Now I like it. But if you could play Fergie's, Fergie's is weird because when I first heard Fergie's, I was like, "What is she doing?" Because the national anthem is my favorite song of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to Fergie's a few more times, and I've done this. It gets better every time you hear it. Now,
what kind of pen are you using, though?
I was watching it live like you guys were, and I thought she effed it up also.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes. Do you mind closing your eyes?
Yeah, sure.
That's a problem right there. I'm with you. That's a problem. Okay.
What's so
That's a problem right there, but she can sing.
She can sing, that's the thing.
She's a beautiful singer.
Yeah, she has a great voice.
She got all sexy on her dude.
She didn't have the soul clap going like Marvin Gaye did, though. See, Marvin Gaye had the soul clap in the back. He got the crowd into it, so he was going to win.
True, because I think people were perplexed at what she was doing. Like Charles Barkley said afterwards, he felt like he needed to have a cigarette because he just got VF'd. And I'm not going to tell you what VF stands for, but you know what the F is. That he felt like dirty. He felt dirty afterwards, like she just had her way with him or something. Yeah. Anyhow, I appreciate what she was trying to do.
Right.
Everyone points. Everyone
killed
points
for that too.
To the Whitney Houston anthem as the greatest anthem of all time. Don't forget the Whitney Houston anthem. It was recorded in a studio first because that was during the original Gulf War, and they were worried about a terrorist attack or something bad happening. So they wanted to make sure that they had it down in case something happened. So while it's truly Whitney Houston singing it, and she killed it, of course.
She didn't do that live?
That was done in a recording studio. Now the story always was when we saw it. That was the New York Giants Buffalo Bills Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That she was legitimately singing there too. But she had recorded it, and the version they played was apparently the studio version because they were so worried about some type of terrorist attack. Now, she always claimed she did it live there anyway. She wasn't lip syncing, but this version's done in a studio.
So this version's done in the studio, but she was live singing on the field.
Yes. And I'm sure it's every bit as good as what we heard. There's another version of the anthem. I get chills when I hear her sing this.
She did very good. She killed this.
And this is a time of war. Like this is.
And that just started.
This is no joke, okay? But when you watch her sing it closely, you can tell that, and she's not lip sync. You want to be clear about that. But her singing it does not match up with the audio you hear.
Okay.
Because they played it from the recording because they think someone's going to attack the stadium.
Yeah.
Or cut power or something. I don't know what's going on.
Gotcha.
One of the great versions, and you're going to mock me for saying this, of the national anthem that no one plays, I don't even know if the guys can find it, was actually at an NHL All-Star game.
NHL?
At Madison Square Garden.
What's that?
Taylor Dane. And I
Dane.
agree, nobody cares about hockey. I ain't got no time for hockey. Taylor Dane. You remember Taylor Dane?
No.
You never heard of Taylor Dane?
No.
That might be strike two today. That might be strike
I'm
two.
gonna Google this. I'm gonna
Tell
Google
it
this.
to your heart. Tell them I'm the only. You never heard of
Oh, I
Taylor
heard that
Dane?
song.
Of course.
Okay, I did
Everyone's
hear
heard
that.
it. And
Taylor Dane.
you're from cheesy Jersey. Now she's from Long Island, but how does a cheesy Jersey girl not know
LBI,
Taylor
not
Dane?
Long Island. Taylor.
Have you heard of Taylor Dane?
I'll be honest. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a chick.
See, Taylor
like her
Dane
hair.
is not really. That's not really. I don't really. I remember the song you're talking about, but I've heard it a million times. But I'm not like going to download the Taylor Dane.
That's what
Taylor
I'm saying.
Dane
I never
greatest
heard anyone
hits.
like
What are you
rant
doing?
rave
Yeah.
about
Taylor Dane was a big deal for like 3 or 4 years.
According to who?
When?
According to me. I'm Mr. Music.
All right.
Good, all right.
Corey,
Taylor,
was she a big deal to you?
This is news to me.
See? All right.
because you guys never went to a roller rink in 1985.
I wasn't alive then.
And put your roller skates on and danced around the roller rink.
Where you going?
Can't relate to that.
You was going to Skate Key?
I was going to it was called Skate USA.
Okay.
Downtown New Rochelle on Main Street.
All right.
All right.
I thought you was going to Skate Key, that death trap in the Bronx.
I think it burnt down.
Yeah, it did.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you'd go out there. There were three great performers that we would all roller skate to.
Okay.
All right? There was Taylor Dane.
Yeah.
You couldn't get into this?
I mean, it's poppy.
It's like, and you do like the white man. Yeah, you just roller skate.
Yeah.
Doing our
Hey.
thing. Woo!
There you go. Don't fall.
There you go.
There you go. Now do
And
a
here's the
little
hook.
trick.
Here's the hook. Here we go. Tell him I'm the only one. Love or just the game. Tell it to my heart.
There you go. Now
And
you
look,
roller
roll
skating.
roller
Look, you're
skate.
doing good.
And
Yeah.
doing our thing on the roller skates. Then it'd be like, guys only. And you're like,
then you get off.
and you do your thing.
All right, there you
or
go.
Be girls only. You're like,
Yeah, there you go. All right, cool.
and
We got
and
it.
you just roller skating around.
The whole
right?
thing. Let's
Yeah,
go.
It was great. We
Now
have
do a
roller
split.
skating parties.
Like do like a split
I
or
couldn't
something.
do that.
No?
There was always that dude wearing tight short shorts.
Yeah.
With socks up to his knees.
Uh-huh.
And he could like moonwalk like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
On roller skates. Though.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Did you do that?
No, I could go forwards.
Okay.
And then I would hit the boards to stop.
Yeah.
The second great performer. You don't know who it is.
Breathing heavy again.
I'm breathing a little
Yes.
heavy. I took a breath time out right there.
That's all good.
I haven't roller skated in many years. I also look very pale today. Today's opening day, by the way. Well,
Yeah,
I talk
Major
about
League
Taylor
Baseball.
Dane and Sheena Easton
Okay.
and Sheila E.
Fergalicious.
and Fergalicious.
My girl.
It's opening day. You might be on your way right now out to Citi Field to watch the New York Mets play.
Uh-oh.
If so, I feel for you because today you think the
Me
Mets
too.
have a chance to win.
Me too.
Here's Sammy and Queens on Carton and Friends.
What up,
Sammy, what's
Sammy?
good? Sammy, you there, buddy?
You bet. Huh?
Go ahead. What do you got?
I want to welcome you back to the airwaves. I got the app downloaded on all the devices. I'm watching on YouTube right now, crystal clear.
Nice.
I want to welcome Corey and Michelle to the show.
Thank you very much,
And
Sammy.
I've been to Texas, Arizona.
Get
But
out.
Craigie, one thing, Craigie, these guys got to get hooked on music and some movies, man.
Yeah, well, listen,
Bring it back a little bit to the 80s.
I didn't realize, you know,
We already have a movie night in progress.
I didn't realize that my job here was going to be so multifaceted. I just thought I'd show up and do a 4-hour show. Now what I'm recognizing, as you just said, Sammy, I have to have a weekly movie night, and now I have to clue them in to the great music of our childhood. They have no respect. They don't look back on the oldies and know Taylor Dane and Sheena Easton and the Sugar Hill Gang.
I know Sugar Hill Gang,
Easton.
Rapper's
I know
Delight.
Sugar Hill
Oh,
Gang.
I know,
know
Sugar
them.
Hill. The black guy knows a rap song.
But I know
Great.
Sheena Easton too. You know what I'm saying? I've
Sheena
heard the
Easton.
Taylor Dane song, but nobody like knows her name. Her name is not.
Everybody knows Taylor Dane.
I've never heard one person talk about her besides
She had
you.
a couple of hits, man. She had a couple of hits.
She was a big deal back in the day, Ray. I got you covered, though, Sammy. Don't you worry about it.
Sammy, good looking out, my man. Glad to have you on board.
One last thing, Craigie. Are those spice drops on the desk?
No, it's funny you ask. These are Brock's
Jelly beans.
Easter jelly beans.
That I'm trying not to eat.
Many places have discontinued carrying the spice drops. ShopRite has them, so I loaded up on that. But everyone knows there's only one kind of jelly bean I eat. Brock's. It's the only jelly bean. Jelly Bellies are for bougie bastards from Connecticut. No good for me. I'm a Brock man, and I only eat Brock jelly beans. Thank you for the call, Sam. Appreciate you being here.
Craigie.
What?
Will this show be available podcast form?
Yes. Yeah. So what they're going to do with the
guys.
show is they're going to cut it up, and they're going to put. I think the whole show. The guys in the studio can tell me better. The whole show is going to be available on the podcast right after the show, and then segments will be available individually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like there might be a segment today. Craig teaches the guys about music.
There you go.
And it's about music.
Or it might be what's a recurring segment. Craig daydreams about Tim Tebow.
Yes.
We have to put part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5.
Right now I'm dreaming about Tim Tebow feeding me these jelly beans.
There you go. Tim Tebow feeding jelly beans.
Wow.
Shirtless.
Shirtless. He'd be the one shirtless, and he's trying to pawn it on me.
I got about 6 more pounds to go, and I'll do the show topless. We all will.
I'm not.
That'll be a special show.
The ratings would go up.
You think?
If you guys were not me.
No.
Here's Billy and Selden on Carton and Friends. Billy, what's on your mind, Spank?
Billy.
Oh, my goodness gracious. It's Craig Carton back on the air.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
George,
In
tell
George
your friends.
Steinbrenner's box, there's Craig Carton and Roger Clemens.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Craig, back to have you back on the air here. I'm checking you out on Periscope. You've been such a big influence with me and my little girls that when they have to write down a list of things that their father likes to do on Father's Day, my number one show was Boomer and Carton. So,
well, I
thanks a lot for
appreciate that. Well, now your number one show can be Carton and Friends, and we will be here for the long haul.
Absolutely.
So that'll be great. And tell your girls I said hi, please.
Well done. Craig, one more question for you.
Yeah.
Over under the amount of times you will have Mike Francesa on, okay?
Over, under, okay. Listen, okay. I don't listen to Carton, okay. I'm always taking my kids to school, okay. 1.5, okay. That over 1.5, okay. Yeah, listen. I'd love to have Mike on. He came on my Top 8 and 9 show.
I heard that one.
There's a chance maybe I'll reach out to Mike during the next break. I'll see if he's available to wish me well.
There you go.
I'd say hi to you guys.
That'd be
of course.
a friendly thing to do.
He knows who Taylor Dane is.
Yeah, well, obviously.
You know, you guys think I'm old, referencing Taylor Dane.
Yeah.
Chrissy Bones, our producer, he goes beyond that.
Okay.
He goes back to, like, if you ask him, like, his genre of music he knows the most about, he's going back to, like, Little Anthony and the Imperials.
Oh, boy.
You ever hear them?
No.
Nope.
Have you ever heard the song Tears on My Pillow?
No.
Have you ever heard of the Temptations?
Yes, I've heard of the Temptations.
The Four Tops.
No.
It's like Motown.
You've never heard of the
I've
Four
heard of
Tops.
Motown.
You've heard of Motown.
There you go. Congratulations. He's heard of Motown.
I've heard of that.
What city in America is Motown in?
Wait,
Tell it
Motown?
to my heart. What city in America is Motown? And don't you help, Corey.
I'm not.
What city in America is Motown based in?
Atlanta.
Sugar pie, honey bunch.
Not Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Close, though, but not
I want to say
Atlanta.
because I'm just saying down south
Same
somewhere.
thing because of
It's not
the
close.
influence of music.
No, it's not.
Hey, guys, it's Chris downstairs. The embarrassing part is we had Marvin Gaye on 10 minutes ago. This is a disgrace.
Not Atlanta. You get 2 more guesses. What city in America?
Am I close? He said I'm close, but I'm not.
No,
You say I'm not.
you're
close.
not close. You're not close.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
It's another place that music is very
not
prominent.
Nashville,
that is,
Tennessee.
well, it's mostly country music
It is
there.
not Nashville, Tennessee. Nope.
I Dallas.
Hey guys,
Texas?
turn up my fader down there, number 5, please.
Not Dallas.
It is not Dallas.
Same state.
No, it's not the. Do you know what state Dallas is in?
Texas.
Texas.
I know that
Phoenix,
much.
Arizona.
I gotta give you a good one there. Well, you got that right. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Motown came from what United States city?
Houston.
Not Houston. Not Houston.
Not Houston, which is also in Texas.
Yes.
I've eliminated the state for you.
Oh, I thought you said yes.
It was
Okay,
not in Texas.
How many more guesses do I get?
I'm going to let you keep going
Oh,
at this point till you get it. Now, you're allowed to use one lifeline, okay?
Okay. State. What state? Can you tell me what state?
Chris, you want to give her the state or no?
Well, just think motors. Motown.
Motors.
Detroit, Michigan.
There you go.
Yes, I got
Detroit,
it.
Michigan.
Ladies and gentlemen,
See, you should have given me that hint all along. I would have known that.
I refuse to let you go. You've heard the temps. You've not heard of the Four Tops.
No, I have not.
All right. If you'll indulge me here for a moment. By the way, if you want to join the show, 844-843-6879 is the phone number. That's 844-843-6879. It's opening day baseball, of course. Yankees open just before 4 o'clock in Toronto. Mets open just after 1 o'clock. Under the umbrella, unfortunately, of Rusty Stop losing his battle with a long-time illness. Corey's going to walk us through some of the other key opening day games in a second. Real fast, rapid fire. Are you ready?
Okay.
Smokey Robinson sang with a group before he went solo. What was the name of the group? Sugar Pie Honey Bunch.
I know that song. I just don't know who sings it.
Smokey Robinson sang with what group?
Hey, Michelle, if you get it right, it would be a blank.
Yes. If you got this question right, it would be a small blank.
It would be
something
like,
that
it would be
Saints
like,
are known for.
It would be like the Mets winning the World Series.
A miracle.
There you go.
Smokey Robinson and
The Miracle Band?
The Miracle Band.
And I've
That's
never heard of
exactly
that, so I
right.
totally just made that up. So
That's good stuff.
They were called the Miracles.
At least okay, the Miracles.
Anyway,
All right.
last
The Miracle Band.
Motown question
Last
for you.
Motown.
All right, real quick. Before she was on a midnight train to Georgia, she sang. Her backup singers were known as the what? You want to think about that one?
Yeah.
Think about
Give
it.
me
It's
this break to
Carton and
think about
Friends.
it. I won't
The New
Google
York
it, I
Mets
promise.
open
I'll
up
try to
at
guess.
1 o'clock. Corey's got the other opening day games right after this. Don't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Join the family at Modell Sporting Goods. Visit your nearest Modell's and sign up for our MVP Rewards program to receive insider deals all year round. Earn points on every purchase when you use your MVP card to earn Modell's cash back. It's our way of thanking you for being a loyal customer. Upon signing up, receive 10% off your purchase and 15% off your next purchase. It's that simple. Plus, new MVPs this month are eligible to win a $500 Modell's gift card. When you gotta play more and pay less, you gotta go to Moe's.
The sharpest fantasy sports minds are now available 24/7 straight from your mobile device. Download the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app and listen live or on demand to the finest tips, strategies, and advice from your favorite fantasy personalities. It's free and available for both iOS and Android devices. Your life isn't slowing down, so why should your fantasy sports? Head to fntsy.com/radio and download the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app today.
The Tout Wars Hour.
We're both big proponents of playing in a lot of different formats because I find if I play head-to-head, it will shine a light on something that helps when I play Stratomatic. And if I play Stratomatic, it'll shine a light on something where I play Score Sheet. Aside from the fact that it's just fun playing the game and it's fun playing different formats.
I like the variety. I like the freshness of needing to rethink my rankings, my draft strategy.
Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, only on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
How's it going in there?
5 more minutes.
Okay, let's play a game. 2 truths, 1 lie. We're not going to be late to the party. In the time you've taken to get ready, you could have been on your way to saving a life. And I'm wearing that tie you hate.
We're not going to be late. We're 10 minutes away. You wouldn't dare wear that tie. And I can't save a life. I'm not a firefighter.
Actually, I swabbed my cheeks last week.
It takes less than a minute to get your cheeks swabbed. Register at dkms.org, and you can be a superhero by helping someone out.
Fantasy Sports Radio Network. News update.
Insane in the membrane.
I know this song.
Having a good time. It's day one, Carton and Friends, Studio 34, opening day. That's the back page of the New York Post, at least. What do we have for this other dumpy rag? The Daily News. You think that it would be all about opening day, but when you've got Odell Beckham, you just throw him on the back page every day. That's why nobody reads the papers anymore. It's embarrassing. We have more people on our stream right now. Excuse me. Then we'll buy the Daily News or the Post combined. Let me take some calls. The number's 844-843-6879. This is Carton and Friends. I was just told during the break by Big Mike that the way the podcast is going to work, it's going to be every hour. Mm-hmm. So when we're done doing 9 to 10, they slap it up on the pod on iTunes or whatever. So each hour is a standalone podcast, and then there's going to be like best of segments and all that stuff. So you'll be able to get the whole show however you want it. Fair enough? Mm-hmm. They also told me yesterday that when the show got announced, we broke the internet. Not like the whole internet, but like Roto Experts and the other sites that are part of the family they got broke.
The grid, sports grid, the family, the conglomerate.
Speaking of which, let me tell you, if you're into fantasy sports, no other place for you to look than dailyroto.com. You could dominate DraftKings and FanDuel Major League Baseball contests this summer with Daily Roto's MLB projections and optimizer. Go to dailyroto.com/premium. Save 10% with promo code FNTSY. Choose all the same tools and projections that Millionaire Maker winner Drew Dinkmeyer.
My guy.
Dinkmeyer. That's your guy right there.
That's my guy.
All the tools don't just work for football. It's the same site that Dinkmeyer used for last year's top $550,000 DraftKings Live Final Finish. Go to dailyroto.com/premium. Save 10% with the promo code FNTSY. See the results for yourself.
I feel like I seen, I think they got free access today, too, on dailyroto.com. So if you want to get in some action on opening day, you can head on over there. It's free today, but then make sure you sign up, too, because every time you sign up, it put a nickel in my kid's saving account.
Nice. And right now, there's 35 cents.
Yep.
So he's well on his way to Harvard, no doubt about it. Let me take some calls. That's Michelle. That's Corey. Chris is in Stamford, Connecticut on Carton and Friends, little Yankee action. Chrissy, what's going on, Spank?
Craigie, hello!
Hello! La, la, la.
Greg, it is great to talk to you. You have been missed by the New York greater tri-state area here, and it is just a pleasure to be able to talk to you. So welcome back to the platform here. Been following on the pods and all that, but
awesome.
It's great to have you in this format. One thing I just want to throw your way, Craig. Actually, a two-part question. One is more on, I guess, could you stream this show? Like, do you have anything on like Apple TV? We could stream the show. I'd say that's my first question. But two on the Yanks. What is your lock it up prediction for the Yanks in 2018 as we get opening day today? I'm feeling really good about them this year.
You should.
I still think Houston's probably the best team in the AL, but feeling really, really good about them. I think it's ALCS. I think would be another good year.
Yeah, listen. I don't like guys that come out and guarantee World Series champions because you can't do that. It's a crapshoot once you get there. But if you want my first lock it up pick of the year, the Yankees are going to win the division, and the Yankees will be playing for a World Series. Now, I can't tell you they're going to win the World Series. I agree that you'd rather have Houston's starting pitching staff, but the way the Yankees are built, similar to the end of last year, makes them very tough to beat, and that is get through 6 innings, and that bullpen should take care of the rest. Corey will tell you they're the best bullpen on paper. They come back from a dominant year last year, and the Yankees view it very simply. They have a good enough offense to outscore everybody, and if they break the game down, all their starters have to do is get you 18 outs. 18 outs should lock up a W 95% of the time, Corey.
No doubt, especially with this offense right here. You get to that dominant bullpen, that back end. They come in and close the door. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
That's you, John Sterling?
That was my Corey Parson. I wasn't doing John Sterling.
Of
my
all the dramatic things, Corey's now doing voices.
My John Sterling, I don't know how that would be. It is high. It is far. It's at the wall for an out.
No, it's even worse than that. If you're going to do Sterling, okay, that's just baseball, Susan. That ball looks like it's out of here. That's the 13th home run for Judge. And then Susan goes, "It's off the wall, John. How didn't you see it? He's still running to second base."
Shout out to John and Homegirl. I can't think of her name right now.
Susan Waldman.
Susan Waldman. Yeah, I've been listening to Susan Waldman for a long time. Yo, what's going to be the Giancarlo Stanton home run call?
I heard it the other day. They put it out there the other day.
It's Giancarlo. What is it?
No, it's a.
Swung on, there it goes. Deep left center, it is high. It is far. There it is, gone. Oh, what a shot. Is that kid strong or what? Aaron is Judge and George.
No, that's not the one. Let's kill that. It's I believe he called it a Stantonian home run.
A Stantonian home run.
And then he said something to the effect of let's all Stanton up or something like that. But you're gonna hear a lot of them.
I should.
You will hear a lot of them for sure.
I imagine Matt Harvey has faced Giancarlo Stanton numerous amounts of times.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep right center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. A Stantonian home run.
There you go.
There you go. A Stantonian home run.
Deep right center.
You know, he's got a fantastic figure, too, there, John.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That might be the spring training version. You think he would bring something more creative?
No, he'll go Stantonian. He'll have he'll add a little riddle to it as well.
Oh,
but I think he does now. He has like 2 and 3 levels.
Mr. Sussman just told me that he said he was not going to reveal it yet.
Right. So Stantonian will be in there.
Okay.
But he's probably going to add other levels of it. He now gives you like 2 and 3 lines for every, because that's what he does.
Listen, I'm a fan of the hometown announcer being a homer. I don't have a beef with that.
Should be. Listen, we all loved Rizzuto and White. I think while they're not great broadcasters, it's John Sterling and Susan Waldman, they're unique. Like any team can have the deep-throated high. I went to broadcast school. I shouldn't have said deep throat.
Welcome into Busch Stadium.
I apologize for saying that. That was rude of me.
You're forgiven.
I did not mean it in that way.
I honestly didn't even acknowledge it until you said it, so you're good.
I will take a punishment on that one.
You said deep-throated, but I guess she would have been more, taken aback if you said heavy-tongued. You feel what I'm saying?
That might have been worse.
Yeah, heavy-tongued. Yeah. She might have squirmed a little bit.
Yeah.
As opposed to deep-throated.
Yeah, because what are you going to,
But anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
It's all good.
But as long as I'm good. We also told the story about a woman hiding a bottle of beer inside herself today. So I think deep-throat is not the worst of what we've come up with. That being said, any team can have the, "Hi, I'm Chip and that's Bob, and we're here for a little Yankee baseball." And they sound great. They're like voices like velvet.
They got that hair coiffed neatly to the side.
They do the bad comedian blue blazer mock turtleneck crap.
Yeah.
And we're Chrissy Bones downstairs used to be one of these guys. Hi. And we're here now in the Trenton Thunder, and we're going to be doing games. We're going to be talking.
Greg, why do you think I ended up in the basement? That's why I'm here.
See, he's got the best voice of any guy you'll ever hear.
And I'm in the basement.
Chris, give me how would it
I
sound?
agree with you. He really does.
Chris, if you were just like a baseball announcer, give me third inning.
You mean if I had gotten the job?
Yes.
At some point.
How would that sound? Give me the deep-throated velvet taste.
I don't even know if I could do it. I just, everything comes out just all sensitive and soft and warm. So I don't think it would work. It would be better to do the deep throat.
Do this for me. Will you pretend you're doing a radio show only, and let's say you have a dedication
like
to
when your wife used to listen and call in and I used to hit on her?
That's right.
True story.
Now pretend it's Michelle Serpico, and she's requested one of those Between the Sheets songs you used to play in Philadelphia.
Taylor Dane.
And I want you to give me
Taylor Dane.
Do Taylor Dane, Tell It to My Heart as a dedication to Michelle, but do it like you mean it.
97 YNY, New York. It's Christopher Knight here, Between the Sheets at 7:52. Here's one going out to Michelle. She's studying tonight. Not sure what she's studying, but we're glad she's here. She's having some problems. I talked her through it on the request line. I'm going to meet her behind the mall in about 2 hours and make sure that she's okay. Here's Taylor Dane now on 97 YNY.
Love it.
That was
it's
really
genuine.
good.
You're going to meet her behind the mall. At least you have the jersey reference.
That's where I met your wife.
Yes, Chris slept over in my apartment the other day.
Chris, okay, that's cool.
And I wasn't there.
Oh, that's what's up. That's friends right there. You
That's,
know what I'm saying?
He goes, I'm just checking to make sure she's all right. Is that right? Is that right? Here's Jimmy and Queens on Carton and Friends.
Shout out to
James,
Queens.
what is up, Hammer?
Tell your friends, Craigie is back.
I appreciate that. That's love right there. What do you got? What do you like today? Who do you got? What do you like? What it is?
If I have to listen to Greg Giannotti for another day, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm just wondering, with Michelle on the show, are we finally going to get some fresh take on MMA?
Yes.
Michelle and I were talking about MMA this morning. I said to her not to bring MMA up unless it's a big UFC fight. But, another buddy of mine told me, there's a lot of offshoot leagues now.
Yeah, like what I started at, CFFC, that was the league I started for. I did the cage side reporting for them.
So there's a big fight, not a big fight for them, with John Gotti III.
Yeah, it was in Ring of Combat.
I don't know the name of it. A buddy of
It's down
mine
in Atlantic City.
reached out to me, and they're fighting May 4th in Westbury.
Yeah.
And he's 1-0. It's John Gotti's grandson.
All right.
And he's obviously a well put together kid, a good looking kid too. And I guess he's fighting his second professional MMA fight, but it's out in Westbury, May 4th. So what's happening now?
Is it a grappling tournament? Because I worked a grappling tournament.
I think it's straight MMA.
Okay.
But what's happening now is, because it's now legal in New York, you'll have these small little groups that, they'll put 500 people in a small little joint. And if you love that kind of fighting, there's like 4 or 5 fights on the card.
And that's a good venue. I like that venue when they had it there.
So, anyway, Jimmy, I appreciate you checking us out and saying hi to Michelle.
But hopefully
as
we
well.
will soon. Are you an MMA fan?
Yeah, listen, I'm a big MMA fan. Yeah. I used to host a show on Spike called MMA Uncensored Live. It was the biggest MMA show that ever existed.
Right.
And then when they went into business with Bellator,
then
we were told you can't talk about UFC anymore. And I said, well, how am I supposed to do a Thursday night live MMA show if I can't talk about UFC? And they were pissed at Dana White, and there's this huge battle. And we did 33 episodes.
It
and
doesn't
then
matter if you don't like watching women fight and punch each other in the face outside of some TMZ video with some fat chicks in Jersey getting into it at a mall. Which brings us to our poll question. And the poll question is this. Are you comfortable watching women punch each other?
All right, now stop that, Chris. That's totally out of context. That's before Ronda Rousey. That was that was
when
Misha Tate.
Dumb people started saying stuff
It
like
was
that.
Misha Tate, I think, was going to fight Rousey.
Yeah,
But they billed it as like a supermodel verse, and they're both attractive women.
Right.
And I said, listen, unless they're Jersey chicks fighting in a mall, I don't enjoy watching women fight.
Yeah.
But then Ronda Rousey changed all that with the armbar. And then you fell in love with Ronda Rousey because she was a badass.
Exactly.
Here's Costa. I don't know where Costa's calling from, but he's on Carton and Friends. Costa,
Hi,
what's
Park.
good? How are you?
What's good, Craigie?
All
good
good,
to
man.
hear from you. La, la, la.
Lock it up.
Listen, man, it's really good to hear some fresh, hard-hitting sports talk in the morning now. And let me get to one other point. The person next to you looks a lot better than Boomer on TV, I'll tell you what.
Yes, Corey is a very attractive guy.
Thank you.
I've said that many times.
He's great on fantasy, too.
And he's good on fantasy,
Let me ask you a real quick one.
Yeah.
Is the church open this weekend for the holiday season, being Passover and Easter?
Yeah, it's
you know what church I'm
yes,
talking about.
Mets fans for Yankees. Yeah, the church opened up today, and as you know, if you're religious at all, you have Good Friday tomorrow, you have Easter Sunday on Sunday, you have Passover. So Jews and Christians all doing their thing.
Yeah, everybody
right?
together.
Everybody's
you got the
celebrating.
Easter Bunny, you got Jesus, you got Moses, you got it all coming together, family, all being together, and it's a great time for us as well. The church is open. If you are a Met fan, it's not too late.
No.
The Mets don't open up for another hour and 20 minutes.
Yep, you can get on board for the whole season right now.
And if you want to know what it takes to be on the Met wagon and not jump ship to the Yankees, all you have to do is go back a couple hours in time and hear how the Met song goes from a former public official.
Step right up and meet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking that ball, hitting those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, Everybody's coming round to meet METS Mets of New York Town.
Governor Chris Christie earlier this morning, exclusively on Carton and Friends. We had another hour to play. If you want to join the show, 844-843-6879. That's 844-843-6879. We'll incorporate some chat stuff and some tweets into that at some point as well. Corey's about to give us a few other opening day matchups that may pique your curiosity. But first, Marie's in New York on the Fan. Marie, how you doing, doll?
I'm doing great, Craig. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's up? I said on the Fan. I missed the first time. I knew I said at some point.
I wasn't going to say nothing. I was just going to be like,
call
oh,
me
they didn't
out.
mention it.
Marie, you're on Carton and Friends. What's good?
I've got a great Rusty Staub story, and I thought today would be a perfect time to tell it.
Please do.
Want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, I had the privilege of meeting Rusty Staub a couple years ago, working on a baseball documentary project. And Rusty told a great story that happens to involve Holy Thursday, and he was talking about being traded to the Mets for the first time back in 1972.
Sure.
And he said that he's going to St. Anne's Mass, and he runs into Gil Hodges and some of the coaching staff from the New York Mets. He's in New York, and he says it's on Holy Thursday, and he says at that point he had been traded, but they didn't announce it to him yet. He didn't know. So he said at that point he runs into Gil Hodges, and Gil Hodges knows that he's going to be a New York Met come Monday.
Sure.
And Rusty didn't know it yet until the following, 2 days later.
How about that? So they're sitting there, and I thought you were going to maybe add that he was like praying to become a Met, and then it came true. I'll tell you this, I haven't gotten to know Rusty a little bit over the course of the last 10 years. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about him. I know there's a point in time when he was somewhat misunderstood later in his career and after he retired, and he had some issues with the mid-'80 Mets once he was no longer a Met. But my experience with Rusty was nothing but positive. He was always the guy that was willing to help out a charity or a good cause, and I think he really relished later in life being Rusty Staub, a fan favorite. So I'm sure they'll honor him this afternoon at Citi Field, and it's a shame that he loses his life on opening day or just obviously any day. That being said, we have a full hour to go. We go to 1 o'clock every day of the week. And I remind you, it's Carton and Friends. The phone numbers are open. You can join us. 844-843-6879. Corey's got the other matchups you got to look forward to next on Carton and Friends.
Over the wall.
Does your fantasy team suck? Maybe you need us. The Fantasy Sports Radio Network. The only free 24/7 Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
Fantasy Sports Radio Network. News update.
In baseball, Salvador Perez will be out 4 to 6 weeks after tearing the MCL in his knee when he fell while carrying his luggage. Matt Ehol of the Daily Bergen Record reports that the Mets have discussed adding free agent reliever Greg Holland. In the NFL, the Jaguars acquired quarterback Cody Kessler from the Browns in exchange for a conditional 2019 7th-round pick. Kessler will slot in as the backup quarterback. The Saints signed tight end Ben Watson to a 1-year contract. And in the NBA, Karl Anthony Towns made 19 of 32 from the field and 12 of 15 from the line for a career-high 56 points during a 126-114 win over the Hawks on Wednesday night, adding 15 boards, 4 assists, 1 block, and 6 3-pointers in 41 minutes. I'm Dan Strafford, and this has been your Fantasy Sports Radio Network News Update.
Stay tuned to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network for more updates at the top of every hour.
If you've heard of WeatherTech floor liners, you probably know that for your vehicle's floor, nothing protects better. But what about protection for the rest of your car or truck? I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. Besides our floor liners, we design, engineer, and manufacture a wide range of automotive accessories right here in America. And just like our floor liners, everything is done to the highest standards possible. We understand what kind of investment owning a vehicle can be, so we do everything possible to help you protect it. We don't take shortcuts, and we never make concessions when it comes to quality. For everything from cargo liners to cleaning and detailing supplies to mud flaps and car covers, the one place you need to go is WeatherTech.com. So if you are familiar with our floor liners, just imagine how well the rest of our products will work for you. Learn more about our full line of automotive accessories at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech.com, proudly made in America.
Are you new to daily fantasy? Are you a veteran? Either way, you can better your chances of winning money, and lots of it, by going to dailyroto.com. Multiple people have become millionaires thanks to the guys at Daily Roto. Why not take advice from the experts? You can become a millionaire too. Just go to dailyroto.com to rock daily fantasy sports.
Skix sneakers are taking over tailgates and alumni homes across America. Skix canvas high top, low top, slip-on, and kids tennis style sneakers designed in officially licensed college colors and logos is a must-have for every college fan's wardrobe. Fun, fashionable, and comfortable. Whether you're at the big game or watching the game at home, Skix helps fans perform better. Go to Skix.com and use promo code FNTSY for 15% off your pair now. That's Skix.com. Skix sneakers, the soul of a true fan.
You're listening to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
I don't mess around.
And that, my friends, is called
Carton and Friends.
Oh, hello, friends. You're here early.
Everybody should worry and worry a lot.
Friends, if I may have your attention.
The blind squirrel can't find the nut.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Now, he's back with friends. It's Carton and Friends Day 1. Corey's there. Michelle's here. You're there. Phone numbers are open. 844-843-6879. We're about an hour away from the Met home opener with Noah Syndergaard on the mound. But, of course, New York is not the only place that there's baseball being played. You know that the Yankees open up later this afternoon in Toronto. The other early games today, Cubs-Marlins start at 12:40. That game has not been postponed. So that game starts just before 1 o'clock. In the American League, nothing starts before 3:30. But, Corey, give me a couple games or a couple teams at least from day one that we should keep an eye on.
Let's go down.
Just as far as a good opening series, that's all.
Let's go down to the great state of Texas, where you got the defending champion Houston Astros going up against their in-state rival, the Texas Rangers. Justin Verlander and Cole Hamels.
Cole Hamels is opening day starter
for the Texas Rangers. That's crazy that Cole Hamels was their opening day starter. I thought Cole Hamels retired already, but I guess he still got one in him. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, he's going to have one in him for sure today.
At least one. So you got that going on, Verlander and Hamels. Obviously, down there in Tampa, you got the hated Boston Red Sox, Chris Sale and Chris Archer toe the slab. That's a 4 p.m. Eastern time start right there. Red Sox should be a 90-plus win team this year also.
Yeah, the American League East, it will be interesting because, like you said, while we all think the Yankees are going to win the division, the Red Sox are good enough to win the division.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I got to check the schedules. I hate when the Yankees and Red Sox play, 4 or 5 series before July 1st. Like the more they play after July, the better. There's more theater to it because they're both going to be really, really good. Right. So I just got to check. I just don't know the schedules off the top of my head, but the American League East will be good for that for sure. In the National League, I'm looking at it now. Giants-Dodgers is always interesting because it's Giants-Dodgers. Cubs, obviously, they start in Florida, so it's not a Wrigley game. And I guess you have to pay attention to the Phillies and Braves. There are some people that think the Phillies are going to be a surprise team in the National League. I'm not buying it myself. But that is one of those young teams that people have a liking to.
They got a lot of young talent on this team mixed in with some veterans. So if they hit right, it should be okay. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this year. If they can have a better record than some people that, like the Mets. Aaron Nola, young pitcher that a lot of people, especially in fantasy circles on this network, talked about a lot. Get a lot of that coming up. And then you mentioned Kershaw, the Dodgers and the Giants, that rivalry. That's 7:08 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Those two go at it. This should have been Kershaw Bumgarner, but bum guard that breaks the bone in his hand towards the end of spring training. That sucks for
Right.
him.
There are some weird opening day starters for sure.
It really is.
And there's some that make sense. Severino for the Yankees makes sense, of course. Verlander for the Astros obviously makes sense. Sale for the Red Sox makes sense. Shields for the White Sox makes sense. Syndergaard, can't argue that for the Mets. Lester, of course, for the Cubs. The Met killer, Tehran for the Braves.
He's the only team he kills.
He can only beat one team, and it's the New York Mets. And Kershaw, of course, maybe the best pitcher until you get to October, opening up for the Dodgers.
The Baltimore Orioles, rolling out Dylan Bundy.
Right. I mean, Dylan. And by the way, the only interleague game, the Pirates and Tigers, has been postponed, right, due to weather.
Yeah. You an
believe I saw
interleague
that.
guy? I never really heard your take on interleague.
Well, I love Yankees Mets.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's still there. I know there was talk about maybe getting rid of it or maybe limiting interleague play to the true rivalries. So to me, if you had Marlins, Rays, make it a Florida rivalry. Yankees, Mets. Then the problem is, well, who would the Red Sox play? They're the main rival are the Yankees.
Or they could play the Mets.
Right? Well, you could do against the Mets, but then who the Yankees have the Phillies. So I love it. I do think there's probably a point where it's unbalanced in that, from a Mets standpoint, if they're forced to play the Yankees every year while the Yankees are great, that's not as fair to them as, let's say, Philly, playing against, pick an American League team that's not as good as the Yankees. Doesn't matter, right? So there's a competitive imbalance to that, but I like it because without it, you don't get to see these teams, And as a New Yorker, the best 6 games of the year or 4 games of the year, whatever it is, are Yankees, Mets, Yankees. And if both teams are good, it's even better.
I think it's over the past couple years, though. It has lost some of its luster, but the teams have been going in kind of different directions. The Yankees not really in that dominance of the 90s. The Mets, that pitching staff hasn't really been able to deliver.
Everything went south for that series when Luis Castillo dropped the Teixeira pop-up. I know Teixeira scored. I guess it was the A-Rod pop-up,
I think A-Rod
right?
popped it up.
A-Rod popped up, and Teixeira scored from first.
That was crazy.
It's great.
That was wonderful. I was around some Met fans when that happened, and I just was like, the saga continued.
844-843-6879. We'll get you an update in a moment or two from Michelle, but Lindsay's in Calgary on Carton and Friends. Lindsay, good morning. How you doing?
International.
Hey, Craig, how are you?
Doing good, man. What's going on with you?
I missed you on. I used to be able to listen to you at work when you were on the fan or whatever, but they canceled that. I wasn't allowed to listen anymore. It's great to see you on TV, and go Yankees, go.
There you go. And although you're in Calgary, you're not in Toronto. Your country.
No, Toronto sucks. Toronto is not Canada's team, which they claim they are.
Well, they are
They're
in hockey,
Toronto's
though.
Team. They have nothing to do with Canada's team.
They are.
Canada's team is the Yankees.
Everyone tells me that in Canada, the Maple Leafs are like the Yankees. Is that fair to say or no?
I think I've heard that the Maple Leafs is supposed
Well,
to be
I'm not a Leafs fan, so I'm a Montreal Canadian fan, so I would say no to that also.
All right.
Anyways, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to be watching your show all the time. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much. The great Lindsay
Go
Ruff,
Yankees,
of course,
go.
joining us from Canada right there. Big fan.
Slept on fan base, Toronto. Great sports town. They love their teams. They root
sport.
hard.
It's a hockey town.
You got the
It's a hockey
They
town.
love the Raptors. They they show up for the Blue Jays. Obviously, hockey's a big thing, but they love their Raptors. You'll see that when the NBA playoffs
Well,
start.
the Raptors are very good right now.
And they show up and show out for the Blue Jays too. Real passionate fan base.
Yeah, you'd be shocked. Just a quick NBA thought, and most people would never consider it. If I said, and you know the answer, if I said to you, who's the best team in the East, what would you say?
I would say it's the Toronto Raptors.
Right. Now, everyone thinks, oh, no, LeBron James, Cleveland. Toronto is going to lead wire to wire. Like the Raptors right now, I'm just checking, they're 55-20. All right? Other than Boston, who's only about 3 games behind them.
Yeah, but Boston's without Kyrie likely.
I know.
Yeah.
But there's not, like, even you could even take, Cleveland's 45-30. There are only 2 teams in the East with more than 50 wins right now. And that's Toronto and Boston. And Boston's got no Kyrie. Now, when you take a look at the West, you only have 2 teams over 50 as well. But you're talking about dominant teams that look to be a lock to go at least to the Western Finals, except for one little ditty I'm going to drop on you right now. And Michelle brought up earlier today Karl Anthony Towns, who dropped, 56 points, I think it was, after playing PUBG with Ben Simmons of the Sixers, right? I'm telling you right now, Corey, if you're sleeping on the Timberwolves, you're not going to wake up.
Right now, its first round series for the Timberwolves would be the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry.
That's
One
right.
thing about the T-Wolves, they have athletic big man and Karl Anthony Towns who can jump out on that pick and roll, and that's what the Warriors struggle against. But they'll get past it.
Now, the Warriors will win the series.
No doubt.
But the Timberwolves, I know a lot of people think, well, you don't want to play the Sixers right now. They're playing really good basketball.
They are.
And that's probably fair. You say they are because you're from Philly.
But they really are.
No, that's all there was. That was
They
that,
really
that
are.
was
I
that
have to
Philly
agree with
stench
it. That-
wafting
You just,
into
yeah,
the
just
room
came
again.
in here like,
That's what she
they're
does.
good.
She
I
sits
give
there.
credit where credit's due.
You're
She
damn
sits
right
there,
they're
says
good.
nothing, says nothing, and then Philly. Did someone mention Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Oh, they're playing good right now. The more I think about it, every story you've brought today has a Philly connection to it.
Well, not the next one that I'm about to
No?
tell
All
you.
right, what's the next story?
So another franchise record set last night was by Hornets' Kemba Walker, who became the team's all-time leading scorer.
Wait, stop right there.
This is wild.
Kemba Walker has been in the league, I think, for 6 years, maybe? 5 years, 6 years? It's pretty close, right?
7 years.
This is his 7th year.
This is his 7th season.
And he is already the leading scorer in the history of a franchise.
That's crazy.
That tells you all you need to know about the Hornet franchise. A lot of people thought Kemba Walker couldn't play in the NBA.
I was a Kemba Walker guy. Kemba Walker's from Harlem, legendary Rice High School. So I'm always roll with Kemba Walker. UConn, obviously a star in the Big East, that tournament run. I think he does a great job out there with the Hornets.
Now, they played against the Cavs last
They played
night.
against the Cavs. They ended
They had blown out,
They lost,
right?
and he said he wished it had been more of a competitive game. And LeBron actually congratulated him after, which he said he was really happy about.
Hood. LeBron James with the stick back. This is a man in his 15th year of playing in the NBA.
Yeah, that's a little highlight from LeBron from last night. Why did I play that? Because while LeBron was congratulating Kemba Walker, LeBron was also LeBroning, which means talking about himself.
Yeah.
So last night, LeBron James tied Michael Jordan for most consecutive games with double-digit points. And it's like 866,
Yes,
right? What is
it
the number?
866.
Yeah, so to me, that's not an amazing feat at all. When you are the best player in the league and you play 35 minutes every night and you get the ball on every single possession, by default, you're going to score 10 points every game. He probably has 10 points a game in layups and dunks. But, of course, they go to LeBron, and what does LeBron do? He LeBrons. That's what he does.
But it isn't a.
That's not a big accomplishment.
Look at what he's doing this season, Craig. The dude is in his 15th year.
He's great.
He has not missed a single game this season.
By the way,
his 15th year, the dude is playing his best. He's playing his best basketball in his 15th season.
And I will guarantee you that he'll miss some games once their position's locked up where they're going to be in the playoffs.
Might take a couple
which
off.
it's not yet. And they'll be in Memphis or some nonsense like that. Hey, I'm not going to play today. And remember last year he did the same crap. And when he goes, look, I've been playing long enough. If I want to take a day off, I ain't going to have to play.
What's the problem? That's not a problem. I don't have a problem with that.
No, yeah, you do.
Why?
Michael Jordan didn't take games off. Karl Malone didn't take games off. Larry Bird didn't take games off. You don't randomly decide, I'm not playing. Especially, if you only go to a town once. Like if your only game in Madison Square Garden and you don't play, you got a responsibility to me. Because I tell you what, when I see the schedule, and he's one of those guys I want to see play, and I go to the box office with little Junior Craigie, and I go, Dada, I want to see LeBron James, Daddy. I want to see LeBron James, Dada. Okay. And you're making $35,000 a year, and you save up all you would so you can buy those 2 tickets for you and your son to see LeBron James, Dada. And you go to the arena, and you drop $20 on a hot dog and a soda, and you're sitting there, and you're having a father-son moment. Dada, LeBron James! And you can't wait to go, and then you hear this. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just been informed that LeBron James will not be dressed tonight due to an undisclosed illness. Meanwhile, for 6 months, every day you and your son go to the TV, come to Carton and Friends. LeBron James. Can't wait to see LeBron James. You got the date circled. Your whole family's planning around you and your son going to the game. And he don't play? Unacceptable.
That's the Adam Silver
I want
issue.
a refund.
That's the Adam Silver issue.
That's a
not
LeBron
James.
issue.
You go to the final
and
7 years in a row.
it's a San Antonio Spur issue and a Golden State issue. Every one of these prima donna ball players, I need a day off from what? From playing basketball?
You've been the final 7
Give a
years in a
damn?
row. You put 2 Olympics in
How
there.
about this?
How much basketball is he supposed to play without taking a day off?
You make $40 million a year. Anytime your schedule says, here's what you do. When the schedule says you got a game, you play. You know when you can take off? Take off practice. When there's a game on the calendar, you play in that game. And matter of fact, if it wasn't a legitimate injury or a family tragedy, I'd fine you the game check if you decide not to play.
Oh, the Players Association won't let that happen.
Players
you know
Association, my ass. The association sucks. You do what I tell you to do. Listen, if you're allowed to get caught smoking the ganj once and then again twice with no penalty, which is the rule in the NBA, you don't go into the drug program until you fail 3 times.
It's not bad.
And even when you fail 3 times, it's like a 1-game suspension. So you play. Karl Malone never missed a game in his life. Michael Jordan never skipped a game. I'll give you one better.
Michael Jordan used to be in Atlantic City hammered. What are you talking about?
And he never missed a game.
I don't know. I have
so
to
you
go back
play
and look
against
through
the
some
Knicks,
of
you drop the double nickel, you go to Atlantic City.
that. Hammered.
So what? He never missed a game. Check out the stats.
All right. Well, I got to look a little bit deeper into that.
I'll give you another
Why are we doing this Michael Jordan thing all the time? Can we
Because
not?
he's the
Michael
GOAT.
Jordan, he was doing this, and Larry Bird, and Karl Malone, and they did this, and they came every day, and they showed up. Oh, pleased with that.
I wasn't pleased with that. You're talking about
I think it's a fair comparison.
the GOATs.
The GOATs?
Yeah,
That's right. The
LBJ
GOATs.
is in the GOAT conversation.
He's in the conversation.
Kobe's in the GOAT conversation.
Kobe never missed a game. Now, once in his career, Kobe never took a game off because I'm tired. My vagina hurts. People are being mean to me.
A beer bottle came out of it.
Dude, that never happened. It's called professional pride.
Yeah,
Take
I
Tuesday
agree.
off. If there's a game on Wednesday, be at that game.
Yeah.
I ain't asking for much. I'm not. I'm asking for a Met win today and a Yankee win today because as a New Yorker, I like when the locals win. And with it being opening day and the Mets starting in about an hour, for all you Met fans out there, I'm hoping you win today. I feel for you.
That's very noble.
I want you to do well. And as you're on your way to the stadium right now, we'll take your calls. 844-843-6879. You go to break with one of my favorites. Pearl Jam's greatest song of all time. State of Love and Trust. Could be a theme song for the Yankees this year.
15.
Carton and Friends. That's Michelle. That's Corey. An update right after this. Live from Studio 34.
Steiner Sports is the leading memorabilia provider for the New York Yankees, Rangers, Giants, Knicks, and the Brooklyn Nets. Featuring hundreds of items from your favorite athletes, Steiner Sports is your source for the best sports gifts. Go to steinersports.com/box and shop our collection of memorabilia boxes, which include 10 gifts for the price of one. We've made one for each of your favorite teams. Hurry, supplies are limited, and these are some of the best deals we have ever offered. So go to steinersports.com/box today.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then call Page Publishing at 800-955-3793 immediately. That's 800-955-3793. Page Publishing is looking for authors of all types of books. And unlike most publishers, Page Publishing will take the time to review each and every book submitted to them and give you their feedback. If they like what they read, they'll get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. They handle everything: editing, cover design, copyright protection, printing, publicity, and and distribution. So if you've written a novel, children's book, cookbook, inspirational work, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, then you need to call Page Publishing and do it immediately. Call 800-955-3793 now for your free author submission kit. Again, for your free author submission kit, call 800-955-3793. That's 800-955-3793. Your road to fame and fortune could very well start with this simple phone call. Call Page Publishing at 800-955-3793 for your free author submission kit.
What's up, everybody? I'm Gabriel Morency. And I'm Cam Stewart, inviting you to join us weekdays at 4 o'clock Eastern on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network as we break down all the big games on a nightly basis. The Tony Sincata joins us. I think he's cheating on his domestic partner, but they don't need to know, and neither does yours. Forget about bowling shoes. We're all about winners. Game Time Decisions Radio with Red Heat and Rage. Weekdays at 4 on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
Here's what you missed on Carton and Friends.
This is for you. This is an ode to the New York Mets. My friends here are going to sing it. I'm going to sit back and enjoy it and listen to you guys perform the greatest baseball song of all time. Are you ready?
Here we go. You ready? Yeah. What are we doing?
We're singing along.
All right. Let me know when it starts.
Here we go.
I'm on the IFB.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Well,
when me and my friends go on to town, we can't sit still and we can't sit down. We don't like to fight and we don't like to scuffle.
Hold on.
But we doing the curly shuffle.
Hey Mo! Hey Mo!
Well, Up and dance and do the curly shuffle.
Don't be bad so loud.
Well, me and my friends love Curly and Mo. We love the Curly Brothers Shipping Backbone Show. It's such a delight to boogie and hustle, dancing all night, doing the curly shuffle.
Hey Mo! Hey Mo! I need Michelle to be much louder. Go ahead.
Hey Mo! Let's go, Michelle. Hey Mo! Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Dance, we get up and we dance, we do the curly shuffle.
You're being bashful. Michelle, this is on you now. This is the dance part.
This is the dance part. You dance real better than that.
When they come back in, Michelle, this is all you.
I love Johnny.
You got it? Are you ready? A little blast from earlier today as we premiere Carton and Friends. Great to have you here. Glad you could join us. So many different ways to see and hear the show live. And, of course, well, we prefer it live. But you can catch this show afterwards, reruns and on demand. The number to join, toll free, 844-843-6879. I asked Michelle to take a break so we could bring in the man behind all this, who writes the checks and developed the concept of what we're doing here. And this is a Big Lou from a Sports Grid and, of course, the Sports Fantasy Radio Network. We did it, right?
Hey, and now.
We have premiered Carton and Friends.
That's right.
Something you and I have talked about for a long time. And now it's come to fruition, and it's real, and it's live. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Now get the hell out. This is, by the way, we have
You
a
don't need me
policy.
anymore.
We only bring executives in here for 2 reasons. And if you guys can kill that other audio in my ear, that'd be great. Reason number 1 is to make a good positive announcement.
That's right.
Which is today. Reason number 2 is if we win like an award or something.
Oh, I like awards.
Or we have like a big announcement. Outside of that, no executives allowed in here between 9 and 1. So you're here today because it's our launch, and we got to make sure we get paid. But thank you for coming in. What has the reaction been like in your world from a business standpoint?
Listen, this morning has been great. The last week, really, we spoke to people that are friends, partners, let them know what we're doing. And I think there's about 80% of folks think that we have something huge here. Others are a little bit nervous about what we're doing and the direction we're going in from a content standpoint. But I'll tell you this, this morning, my phone blowing up, people requesting meetings, it's been amazing. So I have a feeling we're definitely onto something.
Well, it's all Corey. I keep telling him.
Yeah,
Once you announced that Corey was doing a show for you, it seemed like I read all about it yesterday. Yesterday was interesting because you could still see how there's people are slanted and how they like to cover things. We put out a press release, which all the press release announced was that I'm back doing a show, and I have great people and support staff that are part of it. There's a backbone to all this that was in place prior to my arrival, but having talented people like Corey, like Michelle, like the guys downstairs. But then the riff went as what is the show going to be? So let me walk you through that again if you're new to it. Everything I did for the last 10 years on FAN is now here. The only thing that's changed is who's sitting to my right and who's sitting to my left. We have very talented people sitting there. So whether that's Boomer, Michelle, Corey, or anyone else, you're getting the show. And the show is coming from right where I'm sitting and then allowing great, talented people to do their thing like Corey, like Michelle, and like the gang downstairs. So if you loved what you heard for a decade on WFAN, just imagine this is just an extension of that. That show has changed dramatically. This show will be what that show used to be because I'm hosting it. And I've always said, whether it's Corey or whether it's Al Leiter or whether it's Governor Christie or whether it's Michelle or whether it's Al Dukes or Jerry Recco or whomever else we put there, you're going to get the type of content that in some weird way comes out of my brain, through my mouth, and into the microphones, and you'll enjoy it. If you enjoyed it for the last 10 years, you're going to enjoy it today and tomorrow. Now, give me my jelly beans back.
What's up?
You don't need to be eating these.
Why not?
You look very slender behind that desk. So now help. What I don't even understand.
Sure.
All the different ways today that people can hear this and see it live.
Yeah.
So I know we got the iHeart app.
Yep.
We got TuneIn. We have the Fantasy Sports Radio website and app.
That's correct.
All right. If you have a smart TV, and these smart TVs today come with YouTube and Twitch built into them,
right.
Just go to either one of those
watch live.
Just type my name in there or Fantasy Sports. It'll come up. I explain this to people. You don't have to be on DirecTV to watch the show on your 60-inch LG or pick your favorite brand, right?
It's a whole new world.
All you got to do is hit the funky button in the middle and then just type in my name, and you can watch the show live.
Come inside Studio 34 with us, the lovely Studio 34.
That's all it is.
So here's the problem with having Craig Carton live as we see it here coming out of beautiful Rock and Riley's
No
Fantasy
problem at all.
Sports roof deck here. The problem is that you took down our website because
I heard it crash yesterday.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Well,
some heads have to roll for that, but I guess they're blaming you because they didn't think the traffic would be
Very
the way
popular.
It was, right? Yeah, we appreciate that. And then it looks like YouTube took us down today. I don't know, maybe you cursed or something. Who the hell knows?
I'll tell you. You want to hear a funny story about that?
Please.
I'll tell you the truth behind that.
Here we go.
This is the true story, as I've been told.
Welcome, Craig, to the family.
So YouTube suddenly was banning the content of the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. So immediately everyone thought it's because of me.
Yeah, I
right?
still do, by the way.
It might be. The guys were putting together a show called The Biggest Busts of All Time.
Yeah.
Now, in the sports world, we know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Like, if the Yankees don't go to the playoffs this year, they'll be thought of as one of the biggest busts of all time. The way YouTube works is they have either some kids doing it or maybe it's automated when there are certain keywords that send off alarms. Apparently, the YouTube folks thought that you guys, I ain't involved, were going to be putting out pictures of large breasts.
We don't do that.
And doing the biggest bust. That's not what you do.
No.
I might do that.
That's right.
We might do that now.
And now that we're together,
So
they
YouTube
assume
apparently was worried that it was going to be a pornographic thing.
and fantasy. It makes
Right.
sense,
So they killed it, no joke, at 8:50 this morning.
Coincidence? I don't think so. See, Big Lou doesn't believe in coincidences.
Nor should you.
Thank you.
All right, so that's another problem. What else?
Okay.
What else have I done?
So there's things that we're working out here. We're going to work through. But here's the great part about the world that we live in today and the way the premillennial millennials consume content. You don't need to worry about it. right? Because if you can't get it there, you can get it somewhere else, right? And that's what I love about the world that we're living in, right? We're free radio. You don't have to pay for radio anymore. You can get the best radio here at the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. But the thing is that we're not just fantasy. I think people are starting to realize, holy shit, these guys aren't just about
Well,
fantasy.
this show will certainly change that rhetoric right away.
That's what we needed. We needed a face, and we needed to change the way people are looking at what we do, because no matter what great content we put out that is outside of fantasy, we don't get the hard look, and that's a problem. In sports, we are the real deal. I mean, we have our credentials, and we have all the good stuff that you need, but we needed a face. We needed somebody to bring it home, and I really firmly believe that you're the guy that can do it. Folks miss you. You're just unbelievably loved, not just in New York. You're a national brand to me. You're something that is just special, comes once in a lifetime. I believe that. You know that. Forget about us being friends for a long time. I've always wanted to work with you in some capacity. We've done charity stuff together. We've supported each other through the years. But this is a big project for us, and nobody's going to be able to take it down. I don't care whether it's YouTube. They want to take us down 7 days, figure it out, get us back up, and if not, we go somewhere else. That's just the way we operate. We're not going to let anybody put us down. They can say what they want, but this is going to be a home run from every angle in my book. And here's the thing. If you look at the way the world is getting their content, it's direct to consumer. You don't have to go through anybody. You can go directly at them. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take that and I think it's going to work, and I think it's going to work big.
People are asking, I know the answer, but let me put it to you as the executive.
Sure.
Will the show appear on terrestrial radio, and how soon until that happens?
Yeah. So folks are asking questions about TV, radio, and all that because they know the deals that we have. You know, on Saturdays we have ABC, and we have some terrestrial stuff going on during the week. Folks see that. They see us on Dish Network. They see us on Cablevision. So tons of questions. Here's the thing. Everybody's got to sit back and relax because we're working on big deals. Big deals take time. Do we want to be on terrestrial radio? We want to own terrestrial radio. We think that we can go straight to #1 in 6 months if we get the shot at doing it. So we're talking to everybody. We're trying to get the best deal. This is a business, right? It's not just, oh, let's sign up with anybody here. We have to make sure that it works for them, and of course it has to work for us. So yes, will we be heard on terrestrial radio? Absolutely, 100%. Is it today? Is it tomorrow? I'm not sure of the date and the time, but the announcements will, they definitely will be coming, and the partner hopefully will be what I think is the best partner of choice, and we're working really hard day after day trying to negotiate that deal. So yes, I'm waiting for it. Come TV time, listen, there's many ways to go on the TV side of things. We're looking for big distribution. I want channels that have 80 to 90 million homes. I want it syndicated or simulcast there. I think that's the best way to go. Now, there's smaller channels out there that aren't operating well. You don't just have to think of the big guys, right? Go with the big boys. There's some challengers that are punching above their weight that have the distribution, but their content sucks.
Right.
So what we're saying to them is, let us take over the operation of the channel. Let us be that lifestyle channel. Let us be the channel that has sports, news, and entertainment. Let us help you. Let us come in and partner with you and show you how to reach that premillennial, millennial, and the older demographic. I think that's the best way for us to go. But again, these are negotiations. They're ongoing, and when the time's right, we'll make the announcement.
Are we talking to the Hulus and Netflixes of the world?
We're talking to everybody.
Like Amazon,
Oh, yeah.
all those
Oh, yeah.
digital
We're talking
companies
to
who have
Amazon.
significant eyeballs and ears.
Oh, yeah.
We are.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically and only about Carton and Friends, I assume, right?
Exclusivity.
That is the gateway to everything else.
Yeah, the problem is with the folks that you just mentioned. They're big and powerful, and they could push us around a little bit, which I'm fine with being pushed around a little bit. But they want exclusivity.
Well, there's a check that can be written to guarantee that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Money talks, Corey, just like in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Corey understands that, and I know you talk about your homeboys. I got homeboys too.
You do not have the same type of homeboys.
Can you do me a favor and open up that bag? I have a present for you in there. Just open
that right?
bag. Yeah. He talks about these homeboys, and I don't mean
He
to get
has
off
homeboys,
topic.
yeah.
Homeboys and this Fabuloso stuff.
Fabuloso is a kitchen
No,
cleaning.
you can just zip it open, and there's a present in there for you. You can't miss it.
I want to see what this is.
So this is what my homeboys use.
Okay.
In reference to that. Now bring that shit over here. Bring that over here.
Okay.
Okay. Let me tell
I
you
got to walk
something.
you through what Fabuloso is. Not everyone knows that Circus is an off-air
but then
thing
you
we
need to
did.
watch. See, here's my thing. Like if you wanted to see the test show, if you're here today and you're listening today, you should have listened to the test. You should have listened to what we put out. If you didn't, you're sadly mistaken. You need to get there. You need to listen
right.
and understand.
What is this?
So Corey comes up with this homeboy stuff and Fabuloso, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm laughing my ass off, So long story short, I talked to some of my friends, and I'm like,
Your
I have
homeboys.
And they said, yeah, they're like, why don't you tell him to use anti-3? Tell him to use anti-3, because that's what my homeboys.
That's what you use.
Not me, I don't use it. My homeboys, remember,
they heard stories.
I'm just telling you, the story that you told, my homeboys say that's what their ladies use.
So the story that Corey told during we were doing some testing to for partners and this and that, and Corey told the story that he had once heard that women over 35 sometimes in a grooming capacity will use a kitchen cleaning product called
Fabuloso.
That they use it. It's multi-use now. It's not just to clean the oven; it also cleans their areas.
Your princess parts.
Right.
Gotcha.
So Lou's homeboys say that they have heard the story that older women use anti-3.
That's right. It's not Fabuloso.
Disinfectant deodorizing equipment spray.
Yeah. That's what I heard. So I don't know if it's true.
I don't know who you people.
So I ran out.
I don't know where you people talk to.
ran out and I
or what
bought
kind
some.
of women you people hang out with.
So I ran out and bought some for Corey. This is my first present to the show.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
And that's what I'm all about. I think about you, brother.
I thank you. I'll put that.
He's thinking about you all the time.
I'll put.
So do you have time for a quick story?
Well, no, I'm trying to do entertaining content. I have 3 minutes before I got to take a break.
All right, you take a break. But
You're
I
the
have a
boss,
quick
but
story.
I mean, listen.
See, that's what I hate about
the
this
show
radio.
is
That's why I
going.
don't want to be in here,
The
man.
show is going well for 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Has it?
It was.
And now I'm screwing it up. Right?
I think so, but go ahead, tell a
That's part of
story.
what I do. So here's the thing. I'm on 36th Street, and I'm trying to make a right on 7th. Okay, I'm right around the corner.
Okay.
So what happens is, there's some people causing a little commotion. There's some cops with this like metal thing they're holding or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm listening to your show to catch up on what's going on. I had meetings today. I got things to do too.
Go ahead.
So I rolled the window down to kind of make a joke to the police officer, which was a mistake.
Yes.
And he looked like he wasn't very happy with me, and he makes me pull over, literally right here.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh man, why did I do this? I don't have time for this today. So he pulls me over, but he's smiling. Now remember, I have my window down.
Right.
Pulls me over. He's smiling. I think we know each other. So he says, is that Craig Carton on the radio? And I said, now I'm confused. So I'm like, yeah. And he's like, let's pretend I'm pulling you over for a ticket. He goes, he sticks his, moves my arm
right.
and starts listening. He goes, what channel is he on?
See?
It made my day.
Made my day too.
Made my day.
I met 2 guys from Midtown South earlier today. I was buying bagels. They called in.
Right.
They said, we're going to call in. We didn't know you were back. So here's the message to those of you. We are back. I know it's not the way you're used to listening to the show.
Could be. Soon.
But it could be. It's on every phone ever made now.
Download the app.
You can get the app. You can hear it digitally. You can see it. And as you figure out how to use these phones for apps, you now know you can listen to the show as if it were on the radio, where it will be very soon as well. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Cheers. Good luck.
One more time, 844-843-6879. That's the phone number to join. It actually spells FNTSY. Maybe that's an easier way to remember it, but 844-84-FNTSY. We are here every day from 9 to 1. You can come watch the show. We'll come out and say hi when we can, and we appreciate the support on day one. We're going to be here for a long time, so you should tell your friends, tell your friends. We'll get one more update here from Michelle after this, live from Studio 34.
Peace.
Have you ever wanted to have a fantasy expert in the palm of your hand? Or better yet, in the pocket of your khakis? Well, check it out. Now you can. It's the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app. Download it now to your phone, we promise. No weird viruses, no strange tracking things. Just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of pure fantasy knowledge dropping all over your head. It's the Fantasy Sports Radio Network app. Stop being a weirdo and streaming it online. Get it on your phone. Take it with you everywhere you go.
Muscle Maker Grill was made for baseball season. Muscle Maker Grill supplies you with delicious, healthy meals that will give you energy to cheer on your team week after week. Whether you're craving flavorful salad, packed wraps, or giltless entrees, Muscle Maker Grill has you covered. Hosting a game? No problem. Our catering packages will have your whole team satisfied with flavors ranging from Italian to Tex-Mex and much, much more. Visit MuscleMakerGrill.com for your nearest location and have a winning season.
Hey, I'm Jeff. Look, I'm just a skeleton. I don't have an ACL anymore, but I'd still like to know what it means when one of my fantasy players sprains his. That's why I use the Inside Injuries app. It was created by real doctors, so you're getting information directly from people who have seen, touched, and operated on actual ACLs. Take it from me, a skeleton. If you aren't using it, you might as well just be guessing. Download the free app today and unlock the secrets of injury analysis.
Skix sneakers are taking over tailgates and alumni homes.
The party getting started. Dance all night. The party getting started. Dance all night. The party getting started. Dance all night. The party getting started. Dance all night.
Well, look, it's opening day.
God.
How do you go through opening day without a little
This is the worst song ever.
John Fogerty?
This is the whitest song ever. It really is. Centerfield is the whitest song ever, son. Take me here up high. This is, come on, give me that. This is, lose this.
Put me in, coach.
This is terrible.
I'm ready to play.
I don't like this at all.
Michelle never heard of it.
I was going to say, another song I've never heard of. I think Corey and I should start being the DJs of, like, orchestrating what songs come on.
I have to be up here to make the show good.
Well,
I
true.
can't-
But we need to, let them know what to play. I don't really like Craig's choices.
First off, they're Chris's choices. Secondly,
This is from someone who didn't know what Motown was. She's
she
judging
never
me.
she never heard of the Four Tops, but she wants the responsibility to play music.
Yes.
How would that ever happen? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a very quick 5-question music quiz.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
If you get 4 or 5 right,
Okay.
I'll turn over the music to you one day.
Okay.
All right?
All right, bring it.
Is
Let's
that
go.
deal?
Yeah, deal.
Chris, is that fair, you think?
Yeah, sure. I also asked both of them 12 times to give me a music list, and they're busy doing makeup and looking orange. That's not well, Corey doesn't look orange.
Hey, Corey does not look
No,
orange.
I don't look orange.
All right, so I'll give you.
I look
and
chocolate.
this is going to be very basic music questions.
Okay.
If you get it right, you get a point.
Okay.
You need 4 points to control the music on tomorrow's show.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Here we go. I'll start you off with. You didn't know who the Four Tops were.
No.
So that's not good. All right. Okay. Buddy Holly,
Yeah.
who's one of the great rock and rollers of all time. He had a band too. They were known as the what?
Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly and the what?
Well, I know there's a Buddy Holly. There's a song.
I'm not talking about the Weezer song.
All right, Buddy Holly.
It's the same thing you hear when you're thinking.
That was funny.
I know this is going to be something bad.
That was
Guys are
not
laughing.
nice, but it was funny.
Go ahead, pick on my
Space?
music choices. Go ahead.
Huh? Turn on number 5, Chris. Go ahead. The Crickets.
Oh, the Crickets. I never heard of them either. Okay, continue.
You've heard of Buddy Holly because of the Weezer song,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, that
All
rings a bell. I was
Ain't
like,
it
oh,
Buddy
no.
Holly? Didn't he perish in the plane crash?
He
Buddy
did.
Holly?
Do you know the other 2 people that were on the plane that killed Buddy Holly?
I'm not sure.
Richie Valens and the Big Bopper.
Okay, I didn't know that was the same plane.
Do you
as
know
Richie
the song
Valens.
the Big Bopper was famous for?
No.
The Big Bopper was a Detroit DJ who, very much like Rick Dees, had one hit song, Disco Duck. The Big Bopper had one hit song. Chantilly lace and a pretty face, a ponytail hanging down, a wiggle when she walks, a giggle when she talks.
My kind of woman.
Makes the world go round, round, round. You don't
Love
know
it.
Chantilly lace?
No.
Hello, baby. You never heard this?
Oh, you sweet
They're giving me really hard ones.
Well, you gotta. If you want to take over the music on the show, you gotta be not just gonna throw you T-Swizzle.
All right, I'm going to give you another one, okay? The local R&B group known as Genuine had one legit hit song known as
Pony.
Okay.
Very good.
Do you know what the song was about?
Doing it?
Okay.
Close enough.
That's
but
like
Genuine
a bonus point.
Genuine's one dude though. It's not a group.
Yeah, isn't it one guy?
No, there's 3 guys in the group. There's one guy, one main guy, but there's 3 dudes in the group.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have 1 point.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready
Got
for
a
your?
point at
You ready
least.
for your next one?
I'm ready for my next one.
Okay. Name 4 members of the Jackson 5.
Michael.
Michael, good.
Janet.
Oh my God. The Jackson 5. Janet was not in the Jackson 5. Janet was born a little after the Jackson boys began performing.
She's related.
Yeah.
She is related, correct.
Yeah, she is related. All right. Uh-huh.
All right, so Janet's
I'm
out.
so happy you're here.
So Janet's out.
Yeah, Janet's out. Yes.
All right, so there's Michael. Is there like an Albert or something?
Yes, Albert.
Okay.
Albert Jackson, that's right. Yep, they called him AJ.
Okay.
That's right. Al Jackson, that's right.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Phil?
Phil
Jackson.
By the way, you are almost all the way home.
Yep.
Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
AJ, Al Jackson.
Okay.
Okay. Give me one more Jackson.
Phil Jackson.
That was a brother of Michael's, thus making the Jackson 5, because we all know Phil Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who then later in life, what did Phil Jackson do years after he left the Jackson 5?
Is it bad or good?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm shocked. I thought Phil
Gloria's
Jackson.
laughing. I think
I
it's-
thought Phil Jackson was the one Jackson you weren't going to get. So I'm pleasantly surprised that you got Phil Jackson as a member of the Jackson 5.
I feel like it was something not that good, right?
You tell me.
No, something good. Okay.
You
I
could skip
don't
this if you
know.
like.
I
All
don't-
right.
yeah, I gotta
He
skip this
became
one.
the coach of the Knicks.
So okay, yeah.
Duh. I mean,
So
right
not that
there.
good, yeah.
He also was the coach of the Bulls.
Right. Yeah.
And won championships with what player?
Yeah.
After he left the
Yes,
Jackson 5.
after he left the Jackson 5, because it was a kid group.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson coached the Chicago Bulls at number 23.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
That's right. And then he came to the Knicks and screwed the whole thing up.
Yes.
Okay, so you have Phil Jackson. You have Al Jackson,
AJ.
who did nothing, I think, after the Jackson 5 that I know
I don't
of.
remember him at all.
Although he may have been the guy driving, wasn't he driving OJ in the white Bronco?
I think that was Al Cowlin.
I think it was Al Jackson.
Oh,
actually.
might have been.
Yeah,
Was
go-
it?
Yeah, I think it was Al Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, go with it on me on that, Corey.
Okay.
All right, so Al Jackson drove OJ.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Jackson coached the Bulls and the Knicks. That's 2 of the Jackson
So you got
boys.
3 of the Jackson 5.
So
We
there's
need
You got
2 more.
there's 2 more Jackson
Two
brothers.
more Jacksons. Okay.
Yep. Do 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 da da. This is the kind of
baby,
stuff that
give me
you,
one more
you can't
chance.
prepare for or
Show
write.
me really love him.
No.
You can't even see this coming. This just is like a gift from the radio
Man,
gods.
Never can.
Well, I'm happy I
say
got more than half of the
goodbye.
group.
I'm happy you got more than half the group too. The other
Okay.
2, I can't believe you got Phil Jackson. That's the one. No one ever gets Phil. I thought you would not get that, but there's 2 other Jacksons. But
Is it like Ben or something?
Ben Jackson.
yes.
Okay. And
Ben
then,
Jackson.
Oh my God, I'm smarter than I think.
There was
Okay.
Like
AJ
Ben
and
Franklin.
BJ.
Yeah.
Now they went off. They did their own thing separate from the 5 later
Yeah.
in life, as you know.
Okay.
They went out as AJ and BJ.
Yes.
Ben Jackson, who's the oldest of the Jackson boys, and there's 1 Jackson left. You take as much time as you want. By the way, I got nothing but
Got
time
a
for
real
this.
big afro, this one. Real big
Yes.
afro.
See, I can remember what they look like. I just can't remember their names.
Well, you got 4 of the
Ken?
5. Was it?
Ken?
Nope, not Ken Jackson. Nope.
Does it start with a K?
I'm not going to answer that question. Not Ken Jackson, though. So let's just regroup. You have the Jackson 5.
Is-
All right, they did Stop the Love You Save.
Yeah.
Stop the love.
ABC,
you say, baby,
right?
you're wrong.
It's easy. Yeah, I know that one.
As 1. Talking to the mic.
ABC. It's
Right.
easy as 1,
1, 2, 3.
Very
right?
good.
Stop the love you save may be your own. So you had Michael Jackson. We just go over again.
Yeah.
Give me the 4 Jackson brothers you have so far.
Michael, AJ, Phil,
And Ben.
and Ben.
And Phil Jackson left the Jackson 5 and did what?
Phil went and became a coach.
Al Jackson left the Jackson 5 and did what?
Drove OJ in the Bronco.
He drove OJ in the white Bronco.
Yeah.
BJ or Ben Jackson left the Jackson 5, and he did what?
What was it? More music?
I think he just sang more.
Yeah, sang
Right,
more.
so forget about him.
Okay.
Who was the last of the Jackson 5?
Well, Mike.
You already have Michael.
Yeah,
You
I
have
already have
Michael. You have Phil. You have Al and Ben.
I don't know. I don't know the last one.
There's
Last one is tough.
There's
big
one guy
old,
left.
big old afro.
Big afro.
Big afro.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm gonna.
You need to think about it. You'll get this one. This is of all the Jacksons, this is the easiest one. You can get it. Definitely get it. I know you can do it. There's no doubt about it. You can do it. I want you to just think about it, and you can get it, okay? Yes? Mark Jackson.
There you go. Mark
Yes.
Jackson. Mark Action Jackson.
And Mark Jackson, after the Jackson 5, went to St. John's,
Okay.
where he played with Chris Mullin, became an NBA player, and a coach.
Okay.
And then got all crazy religious on people.
Oh, all right.
You remember
They had a
that?
scandal after that with his
Right?
wife. Remember that? And then he was supposed to be like the Golden State Warriors coach right now.
That's right.
And he like created that monster. But then, like, he had beef with the management, and Steve Kerr came in and took it over. And that's the Jackson 5. All of them except BJ, very relevant right now.
So let's just go one more time. Here's Michelle Serpico telling you the Jackson 5 and what became of them. Go.
Michael Jackson, we all know, kid became superstar. Rest in peace. AJ was the one that drove him and OJ in the white
No
Bronco.
doubt.
Right.
Phil Jackson, Bulls, Knicks coach.
Right.
Mark Jackson, he was a coach also, and he became really religious.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Legendary.
And the last Jackson who really didn't do anything else was Ben.
It was Ben, yeah.
There you
This is
have
great.
it.
That's Jackson 5.
You now know the history of the Jackson 5.
It's funny how the Jackson boys later on in life all got into basketball.
Yeah.
And some of them got whiter. Michael and Phil had that thing.
I don't know how to Phil.
Yeah, he may have been adopted.
Phil
I
was the
suppose.
oldest.
Wait, then does Phil have a younger daughter?
Yes.
Who's been in the news lately?
Yes.
Yes, because she's dating Kara.
Yes.
Yeah,
Paris Jackson.
Paris Jackson. She's really pretty.
That's
Yes.
Phil Jackson has a beautiful daughter.
That is Phil Jackson's daughter.
Yes,
See?
okay.
Now you put it all.
I
give me a
put it all
five.
together.
You put it all together.
And I love Janet. I love their sister.
And Janet.
Who
Big
doesn't
Janet,
love Janet?
Of course,
Yeah.
it's a big family.
Yes, it is a big
Yeah.
family.
Multicolored,
Multicolored, multicultural,
Something.
afros, whatever. You know
I
what
love
I'm saying?
doing this show already.
NBA.
There's gonna be so many amazing moments that are just going through my head right now. Frank is in New York City on Carton and Friends. Frank, good morning or
Frank,
good
good morning,
afternoon now.
Frank.
What's cooking, buddy?
Craigie, tell your friends, tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your friends. What's up with you?
Welcome back, buddy. It's great hearing you back on the air, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We got lots of great things to do together. It's Monday through Friday from 9 to 1, and I appreciate the fact that you found it, and now you'll make sure you listen every day.
Awesome, man. Keep doing your thing, Craig.
All right, brother. Be good. Thank you, Frank. There you have it. The most games that start just after 1 o'clock today, they're now doing the on-the-field introductions. From a local standpoint, I'm going to give you a quick over-under just to play the game out. New York Mets, better or worse than 500 this year, Cora?
I want to say push. I'll take the under.
You take the under. I'm going to take the over on that. You have a take on that?
Under.
Under 81 and 81. The New York Yankees, more or less than 94 wins.
I'm going to go 93.
Just taking the under, you.
I would take the under also.
I'm going to take the over. I think the Yankees win 100 games this year.
It's a big time season.
That is a big season. It'll be one of the great seasons of all time. And let me just walk you through this again. You know, when you start a brand new show, the very first show is the hardest show to do because everything's new. You want to say everything all at once. You want to let people who have not done this before and certainly not worked together before feel comfortable and get their feet under them. So once you get this show out of the way, everything else becomes much more routine and a lot easier. And then you settle in to what the show is. To be fair and to be honest, I don't know exactly what the show is. It's going to develop itself because we have two great personalities sitting in the room with me. And my job is to allow you guys to shine and let those personalities come out. You know who I am, you know what I do. As a show, though, we are new. So I appreciate everyone's patience as we get to know each other and we start doing this on a regular basis. I will promise you a few things. Number one, this show is never going to become a straight boring two dudes yelling at each other about sports. It's garbage radio. It's garbage TV. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. If you're not entertained or pushed to feel an emotion by what people are doing on a broadcast, then those people aren't good at what they do. There are going to be days when you hate us. There's going to be days when you love us. But I guarantee you, in between those 2 days, you're going to be entertained, and it's going to be a fun listen and a fun watch for you. So anything you knew about Corey beforehand, or Michelle, or me, know that collectively, we get it. The job for us is to come in every day with a smile on our faces and make you happy and talk about things that are relevant to you. We have a great team that's a floor beneath us right now.
Yep.
We got a couple of Mikes. We got a Chris.
We got a Greg. We got a Nando.
We got a team. And those guys are busting their ass to make sure that we look good, we sound good, and that you have access to all this content. We are going to get a lot of things wrong. I promise you that. We're going to make mistakes along the way. We're going to make content mistakes. We're going to have technical mistakes. We're going to screw things up. But the one thing we're never going to do is lie to you. We're always going to be here as an extension of you, the sports fan, the entertainment fan, whether that be in Calgary, here in New York, down in Florida, wherever you get to watch the show from. I'm getting text messages from Hollywood right now, from Nebraska. We're just going to do our thing and hope that you not only enjoy it, but that you tell your friends about it. The idea is for this also to be successful, to warrant the company that made an investment in the studio and in us as talent, that they see that investment back. So I can only say thank you. Those of you that have covered this today, those of you that have watched this today, I know there's going to be a lot of criticism coming my way. I can handle it. If you have something bad to say it about me. Let Corey and let Michelle get used to doing this, and then you can always make fun of them at some other point. Right now, it's about us coming together as a team and having fun. And as I started 10 years ago, every show should end with a moment of the day. And here's today's moment of the day.
Step right up and meet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking that ball. Hitting those home runs over the wall. East side, west side. Everybody's coming round to meet METS Mets of New York town.
That was Governor Chris Christie earlier today doing the Mets song. Corey, you got a quickie?
Right quick. The first batter of the Major League Baseball season, Chicago Cub Ian Happ, hits the ball over the wall.
First batter of the year hits a home run. If you are a Cubs fan, congrats. If you're a Met fan getting ready for today's New York Met opener, they are probably about 7 minutes away from a first pitch. If you're a Yankee fan getting ready for Yankees Blue Jays later this afternoon, good luck to you. Thank you. Thank you for finding us. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for calling us. We will do better every single day. I will be here every single day. And we look forward to having a great connection with you. Lots of baseball tomorrow. We have the NFL draft coming up, of course, and we got lots cooking. So, for Corey, for Michelle, for the gang downstairs, thank you for checking us out. We will see you tomorrow morning live from Studio 34 right here at 9 a.m. And we can't thank you enough for joining us. We got great things coming, and we appreciate you being a part of it. Peace.